Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag off at a Penske fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burb with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the bug with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Hey everybody, wake up, it's late, it's afternoon. Good day to you, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 941 of the Two Dum Yinzers. I want to say to everybody this morning or this afternoon, wherever you may be tuning in from, welcome back. Excuse me, there couldn't be a better time to be a Pittsburgh sports fan, as we had between our Pirates, our Penguins, and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. They all played over the weekend. A total of 6 games between the three of them. And our Pittsburgh teams, they won 5. They went 5-0-1 as the Riverhounds tied with the Pittsburgh Pirates, sweep the Baltimore Orioles, and they sweep, and the Pittsburgh Penguins. They went on a back-and-back with the Florida Panthers. We'll get into all that and so much more today. Again, I want to say, everybody, wake up! I know it's been a long weekend. I know it's the Easter weekend. Hope everybody had a good time. Hope everybody had a safe weekend. But it's time to get back to work, time to get back to school, time to do all that stuff that we just love to do. But one thing that I do know is we are right here, guys. The Two Dum Yinzers are back at it. Episode 941, just 59 short episodes away from the big 1,000, guys. Also, coincidentally, it should be working out to where it plays out possibly to exactly the 5-year mark of the show. Pretty unbelievable. That's what we're shooting for. I do want to say good morning to everybody. Good afternoon, wherever you may be in, wherever you're coming in from. I do want to say what's up to Tortilla Jackson, all the way from Sacramento, California. My man Tortilla says, what's up? What's up to you, brother, man? Always great seeing Tortilla on the terrible board. I also do want to say hi to GD Vim. GD Vim on the terrible board. Welcome to you. Welcome to the terrible board. Welcome to the show. And check out our main feed. Also, all the we got all the links up on the terrible board if you want to check out the vertical version. If you want to stay here, whatever you want to do, you got the options on the board. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Glad to see ya. Some things going down in Pittsburgh. A few things before we do get started. Yeah, I don't really want to get into this shit. You know what I want to do? I don't know what I want to do. You know what I want to do? I want to say this. Go check out Corey Beavers, everybody. You know Corey from our board. He comes in here often and spends a lot of time in the show. Big contributor. I do want to say he did start live shows. I always talk about his show right here on YouTube. Don't Drink That. It's a conspiracy theory show. It's in, all kind of things. I mean, the 9/11, the Kennedy assassination, aliens, government, all kind of stuff. Corey does it all. If you're into conspiracy theories, go check him out right here on YouTube. He just started lives this morning. He has a lot of content all throughout his page, so go check him out. I think every Monday he's going to be doing lives. Corey has really been good to us, so we recommend also you go check him out. Enjoy, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Don't drink that. It was Easter, and it's only 17 days right now from the NFL draft right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So much going on, especially with our sports teams. It's really feeling like 1992 all over to me, because 92 was the last time that the Penguins, the Pirates, and the Steelers were all good, or at least looking good going into the season. I got to be honest, I'm enjoying it. We have a lot that went down over the weekend. Again, our Pittsburgh teams don't lose over the weekend. The Penguins win a home and home. Pirates sweep Baltimore. Pirates are matter of fact, they're on a 5-game winning streak. It's not just a sweep over Baltimore, which is impressive, but a 5-game winning streak as well. Lots going on good for the Pirates. And again, the Riverhounds, they tie in their game against Indy 11. So much to get into today. We have UFL, also the NCAA basketball men's championship tonight. Check that out tonight. I'll talk about that in just a moment as well. I do want to say was to RB, our RB right on the board. My man, he says this. RB says this, Corey, do a show on what happened to Derpy's neck. What happened to Derpy's neck? I don't know. What? And I do want to say, what's up to Strayed Content? He says, can you give me the toilet paper, Daddy? No, but I could give you my hand. And then I'll smack the shit out of you with it when it got your shit all over it. How's that? What happened to Derpy's neck? I'm curious to know. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. A couple of things I do want to say is this. Derpy is Rogers' wife. I love it. Just learning. Always great to see you on the terrible board. Welcome, my friend. I still want to know what happened to Derpy's neck. Still not quite sure on that.
Derpy.
RB says it disappeared. Guys, a little bit of an incident on Friday, and it seemed that it was all hope was lost on Friday. But you know what? Here on the two Dum Yinzers, we have special abilities and powers, and I tell you why. I'm going to do something today that you may have never seen in your life. That's right. That's right. You tuned into the right day, because I'm going to make things happen. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do this, and I am going to manifest. And what I'm going to do is fix things. This is what I do. And whenever I do this, I'll show you exactly what I mean. He is risen. Everybody, it's the fat Jesus, everybody. Risen from 3 days. He was down and out, counted for dead. 3 days later, risen back up. He turned a stone into 1,000 loaves of bread and ate it all. He went to walk on water and fell and drowned. That's right, Fat Jesus, everybody. Welcome to the show, Fat Jesus.
Thank you. Fat, I wandered into the wilderness with a boatload of coke, a barrel full of rum, and a wagon full of lot lizards. And I came out the other side a better man. I am going to lift the curse of the flower. I'm going to see the Pirates, the Penguins, the Steelers, and the Riverhounds deliver us to glory here so we can once again be the city of champions. Welcome, brothers and sisters. Fat
Gee.
Jesus.
Fat Jesus in the house, everybody. Glad to see Fat Jesus today. You're looking great, as always, Fat Jesus. Again, performing miracles on this show. It never ceases to exist. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Two Dum Yinzers. This is episode 941. Let's get it on. Big weekend this weekend, Mike. I hope you had. I hope everything went well for you. It was Easter weekend. A lot of things going down. Kids were off for an extra long time. Everybody's just ready for to go back to the way it is. And you know what? We're back. We're at least getting there. Monday. It's 17 days away from the NFL draft, right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, if you can believe it. Fat Jesus.
Yes.
Did you have a good Easter?
I had a great Easter. I arose the same day as my slim down cousin. He gets all the spotlight. I don't know why. You know, I'm out here feeding the lot lizards. He's feeding the poor. I think it's the same thing, brother. But no, I had a great weekend. The kid had a great weekend. It was a good time.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. It was Easter and we got it behind us. And now we are, guys, it's just full speed ahead into the, of course, the voluntary camps, Mike, starting this week. The 10 teams with new head coaches, they all get to start early. And that is what's going down this week, Mike. The Baltimore Ravens, they will be starting today with their voluntary workouts. And then the other 9 teams, I do believe, over the next couple of days, mainly tomorrow, the Pittsburgh Steelers will be starting their voluntary workouts tomorrow. That is what's going on right now, as we are just 17 days out from the NFL draft right here in Pittsburgh, PA. I know a lot of people are getting excited. I know a lot of people are getting anxious as well. Folks that are very excited to get down there, but they just don't know what the environment, with the just the surroundings. There's going to be like up to almost 800,000 people. The number keeps bouncing around, and at the end of the day, I don't blame them. Pittsburgh is not necessarily an easy city to navigate anyway. If you just go down for a ride through town. So, Mike, it's going to be very, very busy here in 17 days downtown. A lot of things going on, a lot of events. I know Wiz Khalifa. I know Brett Michaels is going to be performing on the first night. I know that all kind of action going on down at the draft here in just 17 days, Mike, a little over 2 weeks. It's unbelievable. 2 weeks from this Thursday is going to be the NFL draft. How you feeling? Are you holding on well? Again, I know the offseason's rough. You know, sometimes it's really busy, sometimes it's few and far between. But at the end of the day, it's hurry up and wait when it's off season, because a bunch of news could come at you at one time that seems a little overwhelming. Then other times you could go a week, 2 weeks without hearing any really insignificant information about the Steelers. So how are you getting through this off season, Vanilla? I'm sorry, Fat Jesus.
Fat Jesus is just devouring any and all NFL draft content he can, just to keep the NFL juices flowing. It's a rough, dark time right now in the NFL to try and struggle through this, but we're going to get there, brother. We're going to get there. It's only 17 days away, a mere under 3 weeks away, right around the corner, baby.
It's going to be great. It's going to be here. It's going to be in Pittsburgh, everybody. Well, as we are getting ready to get started, of course, we do want to talk about our Pittsburgh squads. Everybody, welcome to the show, and let's get into some Pittsburgh sports. Pittsburgh Pirates on a 5-game winning streak. They sweep the Baltimore Orioles over the weekend to improve their record to 6-3. Not only are they on the 3-game sweep, they did win 5 in a row. They're going for 6 tonight as they start a series at home against the San Diego Padres. The Pirates are looking good. They not only have won 5 in a row, then 10 of their next 13 games will be at home. So that is an advantage as well. These next 3 against the Padres, it's going to be today, Bubba Chandler on the mound. Tomorrow it's going to be Paul Skeens, and then Mitch Keller is going to be wrapping up that series. So you got to like the way the Pittsburgh Pirates are looking right now. Off to early winning baseball. O'Neal Cruz, he leads the National League with 4 home runs as we speak. And the Pirates, they do sweep. Oh, also Connor Griffin, the big story. Friday, he had his debut at home. The 19-year-old phenom prospect, he ends up getting a double on his very first at-bat. And ended up being his RBI, and his run was the difference in that game, as the Pirates win by 1 run on Friday, 5-4. Saturday, they beat the Orioles 3-2, and then yesterday they wrapped up the series with an 8-2 win over the O's. They'll be back at it today, again, starting a series of 640 start as the team approaches the 116th mark through the season. So if the first 10 games are any indication how this is going to go, it should be fun, but that's why they play 162, of course. Another news regarding the Pirates, Ozuna, he was brought in for his big bat, and he got booed. He's been being booed because of his lack of production. And you know what he said, Mike? Ozuna, after being booed, Ozuna says that he deserves to be booed. I need to do better. And with that being said, that sounds like something a normal, humble person would say. But if you recall 2 seasons ago, you recall that when David Bednar was being booed, Rowdy Tellez tried to get the fans to back off. He says, hey, we don't do that here. I got to be honest with you. I like Ozuna's approach better. I deserve to be booed. That's, I think, the purpose of booing somebody is the fact that people aren't satisfied with what you're doing and they would like you to do better. Mike, I think Ozuna handled this the best way possible. I deserve to be booed. I appreciate that somebody admits that.
So do I. I like it when pro athletes are like, yeah, I suck. Let me know I suck. I don't want to suck. I want to be better. But, you know, it is refreshing to hear that after what we had happen last year. Like you said, we don't do that here. Well, maybe we should do that here. Maybe we should hold, each other accountable, And I like that. It's very refreshing to hear Ozuna say that. When you told me that, because I didn't have a chance to see it, I was like, I like this guy now. I like him even more. He wants to be held accountable, and he wants to do better for the team because he knows he's hurting the team right now. He knows like the goals that this team has are attainable, and to get to that level, he has to perform up to that level.
Also, a few other things with this Pirates team, Mike. They lost their third baseman. I mean, the third base, the hot corner's always been it has been a question of concern for the Pirates recently, and it's kind of been almost been positioned by committee with what they have in house. And Jared Triolo ends out hurting something last night or over the weekend. I'm sorry, and he's out for about 10 days. So it just makes me wonder, are they going to go try to attack that position? That is something that they talked about all offseason, grabbing a third baseman, and it never really happened. So that is something we'll be keeping an eye on with the Pirates team as well. 2 other quick notes, Mike. They're the only team left. The Pirates are the only team left in the majors out of 30 that their starting pitchers have not lit up a home run. Every other single rotation in the majors, at least one of the pitchers have given up a home run so far. The Pirates, again, just little things. Yes, it doesn't, don't crown them the championship. I'm not, of course, saying this, but I'm just saying the little things that you can maybe stack up to say, okay, this is starting to look like a better team. And that's, again, Mike, the Pirates with the win. They sweep the Orioles, 5-game winning streak. Padres on deck tonight, 6:40. And finally, Mike, the Pittsburgh Pirates have not lost since they started using the rally cone. Of course, here in Western PA, the construction cone is almost, I think it's almost the state, it's going to be on the state flag before you know it. Certainly more recognizable than anything else in the state. But they started putting a traffic cone, like they would, the celebration. Every team every year does something different. They have not lost since they started bringing in the cone.
I love it. It grew on me rather quick. When I first heard it for like the first 5 minutes, like, this is the dumbest thing ever. And then I was like, you know what? This might be the greatest thing ever. Then I saw the highlight, when Connor Griffin got his first career hit, and the dude in the dugout's just fucking raising this thing, going crazy. Everyone's going crazy. I love it. And that it's so baseball, because baseball's so fucking boring. You need something to entertain yourself while you're doing it. And now it's energizing the fan base. I love it. I want to see traffic cones everywhere plastered with Pirate players' faces. We just need to drive downtown Pittsburgh and we stick them all over the place. Each traffic cone should be sponsored by a player.
And the thing about these traffic cones, it's unbelievable that it took this long for somebody to embrace the cone here in PA. Again, you come from out of town, that ought to be something that you notice immediately. There's constantly traffic here. The fact that it took this long, but you know what? It's working. Let's keep rolling with it. Mike, the Pittsburgh Penguins also looking good as the playoffs approach. They win both games on a home and home this weekend, going down to Florida to play the Panthers, and then also at home, winning 9-4 on Saturday and 5-2 on Sunday. Sidney Crosby passed Steve Yzerman all time on the scoring list. And also, Mike, what other record did he set over the weekend?
21 straight seasons with a point per game average, the longest streak in NHL history. That is just a model of consistency and excellency.
Sidney Crosby again continuing to do things that nobody else has ever done in the league. At the when it's all said and done, because I think the guy has good another 10 years left in him. If you see him play, pretty unbelievable. The Penguins are on a little streak again, getting ready to head into the playoffs, like with roughly 4 games left. I can forget which one, but the Penguins will be back at it Thursday. They got a couple days off to be traveling to Texas to take on to New Jersey to take on the Devils. That is going to be a 7:00 start on Thursday.
Let's go.
Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they tie up the Indy 11, Mike. They finish in a draw in this game, taking it all the way down to the end of the game. The Riverhounds, they scored to tie that one up, Mike. It is 1-1, or they tied it 1-1, and the Hounds won't be back at it now until Sunday. Sunday at 5, they will be traveling to take on Birmingham Legion, and then next week they'll pick up on their next tournament game.
In the 93rd minute, man, the equalizer, it was a hell of a shot. Let's go.
And in the NCAA, the championship is set, Mike. Final 4 over the weekend. Number 1 Michigan takes on number 1 Arizona. Michigan wins that game handily, 91-73. They go on to take on UConn, who beat Illinois. Number 2 UConn 71 over Illinois, who came in with the number 5 overall ranking in the tournament. 71-62 UConn and Michigan to play tonight for the national championship. 8:50 tonight is that game, and college hoops will be over this time tomorrow. I'm thinking about maybe possibly going somewhere and watching the game tonight just to get out a little bit. Perhaps, I don't know. I'll see what I'm going to do. But the national championship game tonight, you got the Pittsburgh Pirates tonight, a lot of things going on. And if you want to talk some football, which we're going to get into heavily here in just a moment, Mike, let's start first with the UFL as they kick off week 2 on Friday. Friday night, your DC Defenders. They beat Columbus 44-26, giving the Defenders a 1-1 record and dropping Columbus to 0-2. On Saturday, Orlando beats Louisville 19-9, bumping Orlando up to 2-0 and Louisville to 0-2. Sunday, the Houston Gamblers beats Birmingham in a close game, 22-20. The Gamblers in Birmingham both, I think they're both 1-1 at this point. And then the week wraps up, Mike, not today, but tomorrow. Tuesday night football. That's right, you heard it here. Tuesday night football. Tomorrow, UFL wraps up their week 2, where St. Louis, the Battlehawks, will be traveling to play the Dallas Renegades tomorrow at 8:00. So if you like football in the evening on Tuesday, you're going to have it, baby. The UFL tomorrow, finishing up week 2. Let me get on the board. I waited too long. It's been way too long since we've seen everybody. Happy Easter. Glad to see everyone back today. Let's go right about here. Derpy's Roger's wife. RB, he said that Derpy's neck, it disappeared. It disappeared. It sure did. Let's go right here. Tortilla once seeing that he has risen. He says, no way. There he is, everybody. There's the fat Jesus right in front of you in the flesh. There you go. Let's go to Tortilla. He says, Vanilla Jesus. RB says, haha, that was my 5th blowout since being here. I seriously put 0 stock into it. Haha, I've become numb to it. It's is that a bad thing? Corey says, haha, it might be RB. I don't know what I'm going to do next. Let's go to RB. Also, I must confess, I was with Mike on the topic. DJ No All Pro was probably a better route runner, top 5 for sure in his time here. Wasn't a talent issue. He had 5-cent brain. It's debatable. Absolutely. Corey, Don't Drink That says this. He says, that was a humbling experience for sure. Of course, Corey, doing good. He looked good this morning. Do go check him out again live every Monday. And again, all kind of content throughout the week. Go check out Don't Drink That. Let's go to Cody. Cody, what's up, dude? Always great seeing the code, man. Always great seeing your brother on the terrible board. He says, Jesus looks like a Penn State fan. Shaking my head. I guess he does. RB.
I'm still an Indiana Hoosier fan, brother. We don't know where this Penn State comes from, man.
Corey, our RB says this. Corey, you ever dice into the Knights Templar? That entire thing leads into 500 different rabbit holes. Also, Corey says this back to RB. He says at RB, yes, I've actually going through all the ancient civilizations to get to that point. I'm going into ancient Egypt next week. I just don't know if lives will work for me because of timing. Following that up by saying I only have Monday mornings until noon. Let's go up here. RB, time is a motherfucker. I wish we had this shit when we was in my team. And you know what? That's so true. We didn't have shit. As a matter of fact, if you wanted to pretend you had a radio show, you could always get a tape recorder, which were big when we were kids, and pretend that you were doing a radio show and just tape it. That is what we did. We didn't have anything like we have now, which is really unbelievable. People have now, especially the kids. Steel Loyal, always great seeing Steel Loyal on a terrible board. Steel Loyal says that Adam Schefter's reporting defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence requests trade from the Giants. That'd be nice, Mike. As the Giants, a lot of action in this offseason. I know that they're building a lot, but Dexter Lawrence, according to Steel Loyal, saying that Adam Schefter has been requesting to be traded from the Giants.
I love Dexter Lawrence. You and I both love big old sexy Dexy, and like I'd love to have him on the team. I just don't think it's going to happen. But my God, if anyone can make it happen, it would be Omar Khan. He would find a way to make it work, and I'm here for it.
Lots to get into today. Corey, it says this at RB, same bro. I would be so hot, but I didn't have the drive and discipline I have now. I would have quit way too fast. Somber, what up, Somber? He says, man, I just got done watching Coach LeBeau on Debo and Joe's pod. Great episode, worth the watch after this show. I'll have to check it out. RB says, poor Dex, he got wasted in New York. He didn't look the same last year. Still better than most, just looked a bit off. And it is, it's crazy too, because again, they do seem to be trying to make the team better up there. Of course, hiring John Harbaugh and bringing in different players and drafting good players and Jackson Dart and Neighbors and Austin and everything else they got going on up there. So I wonder what's going on with that. But you know what? It'd be nice to see him land in the black and gold, Mike.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah, it would. If he can come here and be on the D line, you have him, Harmon, Cam. Hopefully, a couple other young guys in the draft. I think it would be a hell of a D line. It would be killing people up front, but I think it's a pipe dream for the Steelers.
RB says, Somber, does he still look to be 55 years old? That man does not age. LeBeau. Let's go right here. Somber says he looks amazing. He looks amazing. RB says, remember when Tomlin said, I love Dick? Everyone loves Dick when he first was hired.
Yep.
Everyone does love Dick. There's no two ways about it. In two different eras with the Steelers doing very, very well. RB says, I watched my first Pirate game in 5 years this extended weekend. That guy who plays third dude, he's got to go. That's our weak point. That's our weakness is third base. Hopefully now that Triolo is out, maybe they will finally make that move that they talked about. A lot of people were talking about all off season. We will see. Tortilla says sell t-shirts saying everyone loves Dick.
Oh Jesus!
If done in the right timeline, that would have been hilarious. You know what I mean? If done at the timing on that, I think is key. Unfortunately, we missed it. Let's go right here. Cody says traffic cones for the potholes. Damn right they are. And you know what? There's going to be a lot of potholes that don't have cones anymore because Pirate fans, I'm sure, aren't running to the Home Depot or the wherever you get cones because they all have them now. Go down to the Bucco game. So also pay attention on the roads a little bit better as well. Let's go to RB. He says the cone has a story. It makes some sense. The welding mask is retarded. I thought the welding mask was retarded too. I'm glad they are doing the cones.
Me too.
Jamal in the house. What up, brother? Always great seeing Jamal. Jamal, did you see Fat Jesus? Mike, Fat Jesus, why don't you wave? Wave to Jamal. Look at that.
Fat Jesus is here. I've repented for my sins.
And I gotta be honest with you. I don't know if you're really justified because when you wave, I expected to see like a big hole in your hand or at least some kind of marking. Nothing. So maybe as we move on in the character evolves, maybe some of those nuances.
I see. I was just run out of town for my beliefs. I was not nailed to the cross for my beliefs. That's where me and my cousin differentiate. I'm quick and nimble like a big cat. Okay. He's kind of slow and lumbery. You know, he looks the athlete, but I'm the athlete.
Fat Jesus, there you go, everybody. Fat Jesus. Let's see. Let's stay on the board right here. Still loyal says this. I just don't want Michigan to win. Their fan base is insufferable. See, I don't mind Michigan. I don't get it. But again, I'm not a Big Ten guy. Maybe if I had a Big Ten team that I followed, I would get it. Michigan don't bother me at all. I don't know. I kind of enjoy them in a way.
Yeah, they don't bother me either. I like Michigan. It's Ohio State I can't stand.
Yeah, see, I have no problem with them either. RB says soccer has been pushed on America to help further pussification of the youth. It was. I mean, kids played it when we were younger, but it was baseball, football, and basketball. That was what you played when you were a kid. Soccer's big now. No two ways on it. Let's go Michigan is what Cody is saying. Steel Loyal said, laugh my ass off, Cody. I thought you were a Kent State fan. Tortilla said, Cody is a Fent State fan.
Kent Reed, Kent Wright, Kent State.
Cody says, nah, I like South Carolina. Somber says, I hit a bunny yesterday on my way home. I wonder if it was the Easter bunny.
Oh, that's terrible.
Well, you know what? Even if the Easter bunny's dead, we have Fat Jesus, so there's no worries. He's here to save.
I am here. I save all. I am saving the Pittsburgh sports scene in Pittsburgh single-handedly. Going to deliver us championships to make us the city of championships again.
And ever since he the 3 days began, if you will, none of the Pittsburgh teams had lost. So just throwing that out there. Orioles swept. Panthers swept. And also the Riverhounds not losing. So far, so good on Fat Jesus. Let's go up here to Steel Loyal. He says, no, you don't, Cody. Cody says, I go to Clemson games in my South Carolina gear. Steel Loyal says, laugh my ass off, Cody. You would have never been willing to buy a Clemson baseball jersey if you were a South Carolina fan. Let's go here. Somber says this. Cody goes to Texas games in his LSU gear. Steel Loyal says goes to Bama in his Auburn gear. Cody says, I hope we draft Sellers next year. He's got the slight edge on Trevor Lawrence. Tortilla says Cody goes to Pitt in his Penn State gear. Laugh my ass off, Cody, on his rage bait bit today. Also, Somber says, I wonder if that alters the Giants' plans. A pick 5. That's a good question. That is a good question, but would that affect us? Are they looking for anything that we're looking for? I don't know.
I don't know their needs off the top of my head, but they could use a receiver opposite Malik Neighbors. They could use offensive line help. They need help everywhere. So yeah, they could affect us. It really could. Harbaugh's up there. He would do anything to screw us over.
Yeah. A couple of things before we do move on. I'm going to wait a second. Let's go right here to Ty, my man Tyrone. Always great seeing the GOAT on the board. He says JPJ's the GOAT. He followed it up by saying, he said he top 5. We got a lot to get into today. I have some things regarding that as well. Always great to see you, Ty. Glad to see y'all good. Absolutely, man. It's all good in the hood as always. Cody says that dude hit back-to-back home runs. Tortilla says Vanilla Jesus came back with no scars. Again, the character still has to evolve. I think that we could certainly get better as we go along. But as of right now, there he is. Everybody, there's the Fat Jesus.
Just because there's no scars here, maybe in Wolverine, I have great healing factors, guys.
Somber says Fat Jesus is peak male performance.
Yeah. See, Somber gets it. Somber knows what is up.
Tortilla says the Feaster Bunny. And I got to be honest with you. Mike is on a diet, and I love it. And here's why. You talked about it on the show. What's the stuff that you're the
Wegovy?
The Wegovy. Now here's something about the Wegovy. Every single day Mike's been on the Wegovy, he orders more food.
But I'm eating less.
Like ever since you've been on it, we've gotten here at the studio. We've gotten Vincelli's Pizza. Mm-hmm. We've got McDonald's. Mm-hmm. We've got KFC. Mm-hmm. We've got pretty much everything that's out there. And I thought ever since we never had food like that here at the studio until you started on your diet. And I love it.
But and the thing is, I'm down 5 pounds.
That's insane.
I'm already losing weight. I'm eating less. I got to get back to cooking better. I used to cook a ton, but then I got this shit that I'm just eating like I can eat. And it's kind of stupid here. Fat Jesus got to get his life together completely. We got it started. I got the ball rolling, and it kind of took a deep dive. But
I gotta say I'm enjoying your diet. It's working for me. It's working in my favor. Keep it up. Let's also go right here. Cody says, I think you're more like Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel. I like that. I'll take that. I'll take that. Mike can certainly be Abel. Let's go ahead and move up to Steel Loyal.
Wow.
Loyal says, Giants need a receiver for sure. And you know what? They have little Calvin Austin. And I'm sure they do need more because they have neighbors. Who else do they got? Anybody of anybody else notable, Mike?
For the Giants, not that I can think of off the top of my head. I know. Oh, do they still have Wandale Robinson? I can't remember. Well, let me pull it up real quick here. Darius Slayton, Darnell Mooney, Calvin Austin III. I forgot they picked up.
Well, as a matter of fact, I just mentioned him 5 times before I asked you that question. So
I kind of Hey,
all right. I
was thinking about food.
Pull it together. You said thinking about food. Somber says this. Well, if they shift the defensive line, that will probably push Tate down the board. Domino effect, of course. The Tortilla says Vanilla Claus. Somber says eat less more frequently. RB. He says those drugs are worse for your liver than the booze.
And the booze and they can fight it out to which one's going to kill me first.
That's it, Mike. He's on a race to find this information out. Steel Loyal says Wandale is gone. Also, Wando went elsewhere.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot.
And Somber is saying that Calvin Austin was his replacement. So welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I'm not going to be, Cody says this, I'm not too religious, but didn't Cain kill Abel? He did. Mm-hmm. That's why Mike is Abel. Let's go. One more thing I do want to say is this. The only thing that I was truly upset about, I mean, we've done this for a long time. We kind of know each other. The one thing that I was truly, the only thing that I was truly upset about is I got left with Derpy Friday afternoon on the show. Yeah,
that was a dick move on my part.
I thought, motherfucker.
Yeah, that was a my bad, bro. I really feel bad about that one. That was things were said that could be taken back, but leaving you alone with Derpy, I don't know if we can ever make amends for that.
It was like talking to a wall with breasts. The thing he has no. Listen. He's good at what we use him for. He's good at what he does on the show. And if you ask me what that is, you're answering your own question. We don't know, but I like him at that position. If he's needed to be in a position where I have to ask him a question or have a cohesive conversation for a period, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work.
No, it does not work.
I gotta say, God bless the guy that does the nerd show with him on Sunday.
Oh yeah, Chris is a saint over there on that podcast with Derpy. I don't know how he does it. I really don't. But yeah, I do kind of feel bad leaving you alone with Derpy. But you know what? In the heat of the moment, things happen.
He has the worst ADD I've ever seen.
Dude, try doing a draft show with him. He fell asleep on me.
Like Somber's saying on the board here. Derpy just kept phasing in and out of reality. Nothing. And you know what? That's more than physical. It's mental with him as well. I mean, he's just constantly in and out of reality, and that's what had me all wound up all weekend was the extra time with Derpy.
Yeah. I don't know if I can atone for that sin.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a forgivable sin. We're gonna have to go out in the parking lot. You could throw me 10 Hail Marys. How's that?
Throw you 10 Hail Marys.
We'll make it right, baby, as we always do, guys. Again, working strongly towards big episode 1000 as we are just 59 shows away, guys. Welcome to the show. Let's get into everything Steelers today. I'm going to jump back on the board here for a couple of seconds, but then we're going to get into all kind of stuff. Aaron Williams, my man, always great seeing Aaron on the terrible board. He says, excuse me, I watched the interview with Dick LeBeau. Do you all think we will make noise this season? I do. Listen, I think we're going to be damn good this year. I think we're going to be good. Call me crazy. I think the easy thing to do is say, oh, they're not going to do anything. And then if they win, people will just go, okay, awesome, good for them. But I'm going to go the opposite route, Mike. I'm going to say that they're going to do well, and if they don't do what I guessed, then they're going to be bad. And it's but that's I'm sticking with my conviction. I think that they're going to play well enough, and I think they might win a playoff game. I know that the feeling in the Steelers facility is a lot different, Mike. A lot of reports. This isn't just one reporter naming it. This is the feel is different in the Steelers facilities. And also Mike McCarthy, he says this, Mike, I'll have the more in-depth quote here in just a second, but he says that he feels that if we trust the process, do what we do, gets this offense improved, he says, I really feel that we could end the playoff drought this year. And you know what? If you believe it, then I believe it. I have no reason not to yet. I have to be proven wrong or right in a sense that if he, talks a good game, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and nothing, we get no results, then you start to work people's trust and faith in you. But at the end of the day, I have no reason to think that things aren't going to be the way that he's saying, the way that the not just the locker room, but again, the facilities, the people in the front office, the executives, it's a whole different feel. And listen, I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to compare. I'm just going to say for right now, for what it is on April 6th, 2026, that's encouraging to hear. And I will go from there. Again, I think they're going to do okay. If they stink, you know what? I'll eat that. But at the end of the day, Mike, I really do. There's nothing that really indicates to me, and maybe everyone isn't going to be on the same page. Who knows? There could be different reasons why people don't think the Steelers are going to be good this year. I do. I think they're going to be good. I don't feel that there's a huge drop off, and maybe some of the improvements we did is going to help us along the way. And then again, we're really basing it off of game plan and gameplay of the former coaching staff, which again, I'm not going to badmouth them. I'm just saying it's a whole different team, a whole different game, a whole different philosophy, a whole different mindset. So if we're expecting this and this to be bad because this is what we had that was shitty last year or beyond, we can't even make that assumption. So at the end of the day, I have no reason to think that we won't play well, we won't do good. And again, very, very positive attitude within the Steelers facility. It's been reported multiple times throughout the weekend. I'm really liking what I'm hearing.
Me too, man. It gives you hope as a fan that, these guys aren't going to come in here and try and take down what was already built here. Just build off the successes that we had under the last coaching staff, and then take it to a whole nother level. Because that's what we needed, man. Like we talk about all the time, that simple change, that new message might be enough to get us over the edge, to get us to the promised land. I like this. It wasn't real enthused with the at first that Mike McCarthy was going to be our guy, but the staff that he's putting together, the way everyone is being so infectious with this team, it's going to translate to the players, man. They're going to be ready to rock and roll and do what they need to do to bring us another championship.
I couldn't agree more. I think that we're going to be closer sooner than later than we've been recently, guys. And again, if we could get a big win in the playoffs this coming season, that would just blow all of our minds, I think. And again, at the end of the day, we're having all this sudden luck or success, if you want to call it, in Pittsburgh with our teams. Maybe it could get that 92 feel all over again. Again, if you keep in mind, Penguins looking good going to the playoffs, Pirates really good in the early 90s, and the Steelers with a new head coach in 1992, which exactly matches up what's going on right now in a lot of areas. So again, kind of encouraged by everything that's happening right now in Pittsburgh. And I think, Mike, with the big draft here in Pittsburgh, there's a lot of positive feeling with our sports teams, and people are feeling really good about what's going on here.
Yeah, it has that feel. I don't want to say like a feel of destiny, but a feel of hope of new beginnings for all the franchises. Like I said, every team has a new coach now.
All three of them.
You see what Dan Muse did with this team that Kyle Dubas put together that was projected to have a 9% chance to make the playoffs. They're now at 99.9% chance to make the playoffs. Just a couple free agents, a couple free draft picks, and new coaching took this team to a whole new level from what they were. It looked like they were going to be down and out for years, and then now look at them. Look at the Buccos. You're actually allowing your GM to spend money. We went out and got some good players, guys who were on the rise are continuing to play on the rise. Now the Buccos are looking like a legit ball club out there. And this Steeler team, we won the division. We shed some dead weight from the roster. We brought in some really good veteran free agents, and even younger free agents too that are playing at a high level. And you get one or two key draft picks that can be starters and a couple guys that can be key contributors. The Steelers might be heading into an awesome direction as well. So yeah, it's just Pittsburgh sports fans should be filled with hope instead of dread and despair like we like to be.
And it's just kind of I'm just kind of going through a couple of these notes I'm seeing here that I have. I'm like, the league executives not seeing the vision though of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and of course this doesn't surprise me. At the end of the day, I don't remember the last time anybody around the league really got excited about the Steelers. When you're that team, nobody gets excited about you that doesn't like you. And at the end of the day, Mike, executives around the league say that they're not seeing the Steelers' vision. They're saying that the Steelers actually got slower through the moves and things that went down this offseason. I don't get this. I don't even understand what that means. But at the end of the day, Mike, I do feel confident. And again, we watch this team year to year. You see the things that happen. You see the moves that are being made. I'm feeling optimistic, certainly at this point. And this was with the draft, again, just a little over 2 weeks away. So, again, it's going to improve. And if we hit a home run here, Mike, in the draft, I think that we're going to be the most improved team in the NFL this year. If we could hit a home run, and I'm talking about having a really nice draft, I think that we could be one of the better teams that did have a good offseason. And in turn, as you were saying, Mike, we did still finish 10-7 last year. We did still go to the playoffs. So if there is improvement to be had, it's all going to be good if it does happen. But at the end of the day, we also have this leeway. Let's just say that things don't go well. You could always say it's a first year everything and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So there's no real – it's kind of a win-win situation for the Steelers fans. It really is.
It is too, because you're getting the slate has been white clear for the Steelers. Like you said, if they have a bad year, okay, it's a very new coaching staff, and now guess what? We can have a better draft pick. Picking higher in the draft the following year, because I think we're going to have a really good draft this year. And if things don't work out on the field, that's going to be even better for the next year's draft. And so you're going to have really good draft classes back to back to back to back, where you get a shit ton of starters, and this team's going to be ready to rock and roll. I don't know why people around the league, like executives and coaches and fans, say this team. They're scratching their head as to what the Steelers are doing. Like, if you've been paying attention, it's obvious what they're doing. They're building a team, so the quarterback really doesn't matter. And I don't know why that's hard for people to wrap their head around. Like, that's the long-term goal of the team. To where if you can't find your franchise guy, okay, you can find quarterbacks that can guide you to where you want to be and allow your talent to take over. It's kind of what the Eagles did. Jalen Hurts wasn't anyone thought he would ever win a Super Bowl, and then here he did. He won a Super Bowl, and they're already talking about getting rid of him because he wants to run an offense a certain way that doesn't fit their scheme. So, they built the team to be quarterback proof, and I think they're about to prove it. And then the Steelers are trying to copy that formula,
trying to strengthen their pimp hand, if you will.
Yes.
I'm looking at just some more notes here, Mike, and this is something that indicates to me that people outside of Pittsburgh aren't taking this our team real serious right now. Like, I just read this morning, excuse me, I just read this morning that get this, and I don't know, just let me know what you think. DK Metcalf, a trade candidate. As of this morning, what I'm reading, Mike, there is interest from the New York Giants, Las Vegas Raiders, and the Buffalo Bills inquiring about a trade for DK Metcalf. Mike, is there any way on this planet we go into this season without a doable wide receiver situation?
There cannot be. We cannot do this again. Like it makes zero sense to trade DK Metcalf. No, like we finally have two viable wide receivers that fit what Mike McCarthy wants to do. He wants these big-bodied receivers that have big catch radiuses, to where it doesn't matter who the quarterback is; they can get in the ball. This would go against everything that we were trying to do. Yes, he had that incident with the fan, but last year there's no reports of him being a bad teammate, doing anything in the locker room, showing up late to games and practices. No, there's no way they would trade him. They already told him that they're going to pay him his guaranteed money. I don't see the Steelers turning around going, you know what, we're going to trade you now. It would totally mess up what they're going to do for the draft.
That's what I'm saying.
Like the only way you do it is if you get a guaranteed first-round pick back, and DK Metcalf's not going to get you a first-round pick back. It makes no sense.
And that's what I'm saying, Mike. It's just it's outside of Pittsburgh. People and the Steeler fans, they believe we're seeing the positives being made. And again, if we get a home run in this draft, where we get 2 to 3 guys, Mike, that could be semi-regulars at least in the lineup from Sunday to Sunday, right off the cut, it's going to be good, and things are moving in the right direction, and we'll certainly take that, Mike. I don't want to leave anybody out today on this Monday. Let me jump on the board here briefly to kind of stay caught up, but we're going to get so much. I got a lot here to go into today. Let's go right here to Steel Loyal. Left Ryan alone with Derpy. Wow.
Derpy.
Yeah, I know. My bad.
Ty says this. Y'all just got caught up on the Johnson BS. Somber Derpy just kept phasing in and out of reality. Nothing really changed.
Derpy.
Chris is a good dude. RB says absolutely. Chris has got to be a saint.
He is a saint.
I just know that, I'm watching the show over there, the Nerd Show, and, Derpy pulls one of his moments where he disappears for a while, or he just, you know what he does. He's insane. And Chris just keeps talking to him. I don't know. It's unbelievable. I'm usually, like I said, it was about 9 seconds when I realized I got Derpy for about another hour by myself.
These things happen.
The patience of a saint that Chris has over there, I got to tell you. Tyrone says, it was good to see Derpy, though.
Derpy.
Let's go to Tortilla. Tortilla says the Derpinator.
Derpy.
Let's go also to Cody. Cody says Derpy ate all the apples in Eden.
Derpy.
Derpy would be one of the little naked cherubim, Mike, in the garden.
Oh, God. Ugh.
You know how you always see those cherubim and they have no wieners? Did you ever see that? They're like little people, but they're all wienerless, like the Ken doll. So yes,
Yeah.
that would be Derpy.
That would definitely be Derpy.
Tortilla says I'll be back. Somber says Derpy is like Thanos when he only has the Power Stone.
Derpy.
Let's go to Steel, where he says this: Steel Loyal Derpy is like Dax from the Guardians of the Galaxy.
If I stand very still, I'll turn invisible.
Derpy.
Let's go to Cody. Cody says this. They said the fucker's gained weight since he's got there. Darnell Washington gained 3 pounds since this podcast started. Steel Loyal says. And that was actually, you know what? I think, Cody, I think you're referring to the line from This Is the End when they're talking about Mike McBride. And that was one of the funnier parts of the movie.
Here again.
Mike McBride was eating all the food, of course, and he's gained weight since he's got there. I think that's what that was referenced to. Steel Loyal said 2.5 Dum Yinzers. Cody says 1.5 ton Yinzers. 1.5 ton Yinzers. I like it.
What did you notice when he was back there? All you could see is his arm going like this. All I can think of is Euro Trip.
Yeah.
When Scotty was talking to Mika's dad.
Oh yeah.
And Cooper's just like watching that's all I can see when my kid's back there doing that. I'm trying not to laugh.
I know. I'm hoping I can't. I'm over here thinking, man, when school start, I don't want him walking behind Mike doing the Hitler salute.
I know, right?
Let's go right here. Steel Loyal says this. We're the bad boys of the NFL. They hate us because they ain't us. They hate us because they ain't us. They hate us because they ain't us. Hi, Georgianne. Always great seeing Georgianne on the terrible board, as always. Welcome to the show. Great to see you. Hope you had a great Easter, as to everybody. Hope you've had a great weekend, guys. As Easter is now done behind us, just busting through all these spring milestones. As the draft is just a little over 2 weeks away. Unbelievable. Somber says, LOL draft. Somber follows it up by saying, nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too fast. I would catch it. Let's go to Steel Loyal. He says, laugh my ass off. Dax cracks me up. Steel Loyal responds, I'm sorry, also says this, Batista did a great job with that character. LOL.
Crushed it.
Somber says they aren't doing that. He really did at Steel Loyal. I liked it. Steel Loyal says this about Jeremiah Love. Steel Loyal says Notre Dame's running back Jeremiah Love, who has already visited the Titans. The Giants heads to a visit with the Bengals later today. Sources say Cincy picks 10. Somber says you're eating a Zarg nut. A Zarg nut. Ty says defensive tackle Dexter has requested a trade. Yes, he did. And it would be fantastic. We were talking about that slightly at the beginning of the show, Ty. Briefly, I would love it if he came here. It doesn't really seem like a possibility, but the Giants, Mike, they're certainly active this offseason as they finish near the bottom, if not the bottom. I'm pretty sure it was probably last place over in the NFC East. I don't remember what the Redskins finished out as, but I know the Eagles and Cowboys didn't finish below that. So maybe the Giants could get back in, as they do usually, Mike. The Giants are one of these teams like the Florida Marlins. They just stink. They stink. And then they come in out of nowhere and they win a Super Bowl. And then they go back to stinking. Then they stink. And then they stink. And then out of nowhere, they'll win a Super Bowl. That's what the Florida Marlins do. Exactly. They're never a relevant team. They always stink, and they just come up with just random championships. I'm hoping our Buccos has something in the tank, maybe in that kind of fashion moving forward, maybe. But let's see this on the board also. Let's stay on the board right here. I'm going to go to, already told them Tyrone. Okay, we did get all that. Echo, Steel Loyal says, Echo. Ty says, oh, okay, Shocker Loyal. Let's go to here. Call me Loyal Schefter. Call him Loyal Schefter. We got Fat Jesus and Loyal Schefter. Things are happening. Things are transforming as this is off season for the Steelers. And this is when we usually put the dis and the dysfunction, baby, on the two Dum Yinzers.
Yeah, we do.
Lots going on in this April installment of the show. Let's get back to some Steeler talk. Could we? Omar Khan, Mike, 3 drafts in. No All-Pros, no Pro Bowlers. Does this change? Does Joey Porter Jr. Tip the scale, Mike? Does any player that came up in the past couple seasons, when does Omar Khan as a GM who gets mixed reviews? I love him. I love his willingness to pull the trigger, if you will, and he has done that every offseason, Mike. Still, I think giving somebody a couple seasons and not having any All-Pros or Pro Bowlers, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world, but that is something that's being brought up because, again, the Steelers always do have that target on our back, and people are going to talk. They're going to talk what they're going to talk. Mike, of course, I think JPJ is going to break that real soon, but at this point, Mike, still no Pro Bowlers or All-Pros under the Khan era.
Some of that stuff does not concern me because, like you said, Joey Porter Jr. You can say he's a top. You can see the way he plays. He is a top 5 corner. Those honors and accolades will come. Zach Frazier is arguably top 2 center in the NFL, so his All Pros and Pro Bowls will be coming as well. Nick Herbig, people rate and rave how he's one of the best, edge rushers in the NFL right now, but he doesn't have the accolades, but everyone knows he can go out there and wreck a game. Everyone would love to have a Darnell Washington on their team. So not having voted on by fans as someone making it to the popularity bowl does not affect me. But it doesn't concern me at all because we can go out there. We can see that these guys can play. That people that he have drafted are playing balls to the walls. Pretty soon too, Derek Harmon within a year or two will probably be talked about as a perennial Pro Bowl player. We're seeing great things out of him. So no, for not having Pro Bowls or All Pro players? No, because we know what these guys are capable of out there, and you know how hard it is to be named an All Pro. You have to get that first one. Then they keep rolling in. I mean, look at Cam Hayward. He gets recognition after year after year after year, and he really doesn't do a whole hell of a lot to earn that recognition. But you have that name out there. Pretty soon, you're going to start seeing that with Joey Porter, Zach Frazier, and if he becomes a starter, which he should be, you're seeing that out of Nick Herbig as well. So they'll come in time.
Also, that Mike, you also got to put into consideration that they. I agree. I'm gonna leave it at that. How about that? I leave it right there. Good comment. Let me move forward here. Let's go past Chef Loyal. Let's also go. Tyrone says he's done great besides the Jones pick, in my opinion. I don't even know if he was.
Yeah, that was his first pick.
That was his first. Okay.
Yeah.
Steel Loyal says, well, Shador made the Pro Bowl. It wouldn't taint JPJ's legacy to be on the same Pro Bowl team with him. It would taint. Is what he's saying. Aaron Jade, always great seeing you on the terrible board. He says, here we go with the Rockets. Love the message. Always great seeing you, sir, as always. And Steel Loyal says, I want to see JPJ win All Pro. The Pro Bowl. I mean, either or. Any kind of recognition, I think is the point that's being made here. I don't think it's they're not really talking about this guy should have been a backup like Shador. I just think it's when you're recognized by your peers and the fans as the top player, you know it, and I think that's maybe what he's talking about, or what's being talked about here. But also, Mike, a few. Let me grab a couple more messages in regards to the conversation. Aaron Williams says this. He says, "Can you feel the excitement for the coming big time, Aaron?"
Yep,
big time. I'm feeling really good, really optimistic about this team. And again, it seems to me that everybody within the organization is feeling really good too, in the building and the facilities, and nothing but good reports. So again, maybe some of the things that needed changed will get changed, and we can continue to do the things that we do well, and we will see. But yes, Aaron, I 100%. I'm getting excited here on April 6th, Mike, for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ty says JPJ be first team all. Absolutely, and it's coming. These guys are going to get there. But in the NFL, as Mike said, sometimes it's more of a popularity contest, and it's unfortunate. But for crying out loud, JPJ hasn't given up a three. Here, listen, he hasn't given up a touchdown in a couple seasons now. This is JPJ. He believes now, in regards to this, in a related article, Mike, he thinks that the media is focusing a little unfairly on the early penalties in his career. And you don't keep in mind that the guy hasn't give up a touchdown yet.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, the penalties are coming down. The handiness is it's dissipating.
Yep.
His tackling's got better. Listen, I'm not saying he's one of the best tacklers in the league.
No. He's a willing tackler.
He's willing. He went from the hand tackles from the first season that were embarrassing to the second season, getting in there, using his body a little bit more. And then, like last year, he was making tackles. He was literally in there making tackles on plays, which, again, they weren't pretty. They weren't the best tackles. But what you've seen out of the guy, you got to be impressed. And, again, if he continues to improve and move in that direction, you would think that, if anything, Mike, he'll start to tip that popularity scale. Unfortunately, that seems to be what it's more about. But I think that JPJ certainly deserves the recognition, and he won't be in this league many more years without getting that.
Yeah, and those penalties, like he said in his interview, like, look at the guys that people say are better than them. They had more penalty yardage and more penalties called against them than he did. And you get that early reputation, and it's going to be a hard thing to shake. Unfortunately, it's going to probably be something that follows him throughout his career, and it's something stupid, but everyone who watches him plays knows that, my God, he does not get called for a lot of penalties anymore. What, 5 last year, if that, maybe for 50 yards? I'll take that, and 0 touchdowns given up. And if even if 5 of those penalties prevented touchdowns, I'll take that all day, every day. If someone beats him, just tackle the guy. I'll take that penalty all day. over a guaranteed touchdown.
Some people don't want. It doesn't relate. It doesn't translate. Randy Moss's son isn't a great football player, but there's some guys that just are.
Yeah.
You just come from a good bloodline, and it works out for you. And at the end of the day, Joey certainly didn't become a Pro Bowl linebacker in the NFL by not putting in the work. He put in his work on top of just being a bad dude. I mean, come on. But JPJ, you could tell the athleticism's there. Who the hell doesn't give up a touchdown in a couple years period of time in a professional football league? It is kind of crazy. So again, I don't think he'll be in this league much longer without getting that recognition. I wouldn't worry about it, but I understand your eagerness to want to be able to begin to celebrate him in that manner. But it's coming. It's definitely coming with JPJ. I'm a big fan. Maybe not as big as Ty is on the board, but you know what? I can't say that I'm not a big fan. What's going on?
Oh, sorry, I had to delete an ad bot comment.
All right. Well,
so if that messed stuff up, I'm sorry.
It took everything away. I have nothing on my screen now.
Oh shit! I didn't realize getting rid of a troll would do that.
But luckily it's only on my screen, and everybody else gets to see all the comments still.
I'm so sorry. Fat Jesus has failed you again.
I'm about to put you back in that tomb.
You should. But you
know what? I could still use my alternate screen.
I'm so sorry, guys. This is why we can't have nice things around here.
All right, there we go. I think. So that's what I'm saying. Joey Porter Jr.
Jamal, I am over here fucking up. Fat Jesus can't do anything right today.
Hold on,
but Joey Porter Jr. he has a bad rap for those penalties, and it's unfair.
Where's Caleb at?
Right? He's still not over. I forget who his team was that lost. Oh, yeah, the Pacers losing last year in the playoffs.
I got to be honest. Caleb likes the Pacers, but he never managed to make my whole board disappear. I just got to say this.
Yeah, I know. I didn't realize it would affect you. This is the danger of letting me do stuff live on the air.
And it's not, nothing is even coming up now. Like I see a messenger coming up from on the other board, but it's nothing now on that board. Like nothing. How is that even possible? How was that even possible? Oh, there
I have no idea.
Okay, something just came back on. And you know what? All of them, they're all there now. What did you do?
I did not. I brought him back from the dead, but no, I didn't do a single thing. I'm playing like rookie year JPJ over here right now.
Like literally everything that disappeared came back. So I'm just gonna move forward. Steel Loyal says Ravens fans coping hard too. They hate we look so good.
Mm-hmm.
And
they did fuck all this on.
They're another team that can't stop from tripping over themselves. Steel Loyal says this 10,000% they are. He only had 6 flags last season. Only 3 of those were called pass interference.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing that sucks. You kind of get that early reputation. You have to work that off. You got to prove that that's not you anymore. But it is what it is. It's going to prove that if he is that guy or not. So Jamal says this. We don't even have a quarterback. Steel Loyal. Do we really look that good? JPJ ain't top 5. He's top 3. Top 3 RB is saying. Steel Loyal says we know A-Rod is coming back. Jamal, LOL. Tyrone says, I agree. Keep that over his head. Yet he had 5 last year, 0 touchdowns. And like he said, follows the best team. The best of them. And that's the thing, maybe he takes it personal, Mike, and he continues to work hard. I think he's going to be just fine,
Yeah.
Let that shit hang over your head.
Yeah. And I think he uses it as motivation. I like that. I think even he uses being picked in the second round as motivation, because I thought he and his dad probably thought they were going to be drafted by the Steelers in the first round.
Let's go right here to Jamal. Jamal says, never know. Steel talking about Aaron coming back. Steel Loyal says, oh, I know. His wife told me. Ty says, this JPJ interview will drop today. Can't wait. Jamal says, fuck it. I want Taylor Green. He says, fuck this shit. Just give me Taylor Green. Aaron says, I feel like Mike has a point to prove as our coach. I do. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, listen, he's got big shoes to fill. You're following Mike Tomlin, Bill Cowher, and Chuck Noll. You don't have the option to stink. You don't have, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, there's a weight, expectations on you when you come to the Steelers.
absolutely. But I agree. I mean, he does have to prove himself. Mark Malone says he's nowhere near the shit talk. No, when it comes to shit talking, he's not even in the same game
No,
as Senior was. Dude, I mean, Senior was fist fighting people before games every week. For the most part, for being a cornerback, JPJ is pretty mild mannered.
Yeah.
You see a lot of these young guys, they're real mouthy and very animated, if you will. JPJ does his job. He keeps his mouth shut, and I don't hate that. Jamal just said over here, Vanilla's over here fucking things up, man. Let's go right here. Somber says, do y'all use StreamYard?
No, we do not.
We do not. Tyrone says, Mark, not as bad, but he definitely be in wide receivers' ears. Jamal says, laugh my ass off. I'm just playing, man. Still Loyal says, JPJ only talks shit to Jamar and T. Somber because StreamYard is ass. Yes, yeah, it is.
We tried using it before. It did not work well for us.
Yeah, we've experienced that. Mark Malone says Senior was an all-time great shit talker, still winning playoff games for us from the sideline.
Yep. Uh-huh.
And I got to be honest with you, winning that Indianapolis second-round game in 2005, that was a lot of that was off the energy that Joey Porter brought to that game. I don't know if you remember how big he was, getting those huge sacks against Peyton Manning in Indianapolis in that game, 21-18 win, second round in Indy. Joey Porter was a huge part of that game, Mike, mouth and talent wise.
Oh yeah.
If you're gonna talk Super Bowl 40, you got to mention Joey Porter Jr. Because at the end of the day, you're always gonna hear Willie Parker's huge run. You're always going to hear Hines Ward, MVP, pass from Randall. Ben still wasn't there yet, but he managed to score on a sneak. But I got to be honest, Mike, you can't not talk about that team without talking about Joey Porter Jr. The defense was something that year. The offense was the line, not one of the better offensive lines in the Super Bowl history. So what JP brought to that team, and he was a veteran. He was a second-year quarterback. JP was the veteran voice that they needed, and my opinion, went a long way in bringing that team to Super Bowl 40.
Oh yeah, he was the vocal leader of that team. Like before that game in Denver, he was talking about how they shot me in the ass. We're gonna go out there and win it for him, and like the team rallied around little things like that. And he would run his mouth, and the rest of the team they would back him up because they weren't going to let him fail. They weren't going to let him look like an idiot. And he knew that. He knew he can go out there and talk that shit because he knew the boys had his back. And there has not been an emotional leader of the team since he left. And hopefully Jalen Ramsey can fill in that void.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, there we go. Let's go right here. Facts Mark is what Tyrone said in this comment about Joey. Cody says, I think you guys missed the comment where Steele said he's wearing his Gamecocks jersey and hat.
Wearing his cocks.
Hey, laugh now, Mike, but you wanted the Gamecock quarterback last year right around this time, I remember. Lenora Sellers. You went
I don't know what you're
talking about. On about the Gamecock. Let's go right here. Tortilla Ryan versus robots.
It's a story as old as time.
If we ever have like what is the aliens versus plants or whatever, if we ever have a computer game or anything, I'm gonna definitely be up against the robots. No two ways about this. Still Loyal says, and then you woke up at Cody. Vegas, my man. He says the headband mullet is back. That's right. Fat Jesus. Vegas is in the house. Fat Jesus, everybody. Welcome. Just in time on the third day. He went down and on Friday.
And then I've risen again, repented for my sins.
He went, he ate a lot, and he came back on Monday, 3 days later. Fat Jesus, there he is. Aaron Williams says, this is just me, but if it seems like Coach Mike has a breath of fresh air since coming to Pittsburgh, I agree. Also, some other things in regards to that, Aaron. I do want to say Omar Khan, Mike, he says this. He says, "quote we've been putting a lot on their plate." End quote. Talking about the new coaching staff, not spared from heavy draft work. So I think not only for McCarthy is it a breath of fresh air, I think it's also a breath of fresh air for the Steelers as well, Mike. Because again, there's a certain element to McCarthy that he brings to Pittsburgh because he is a Pittsburgher. He is a Yinzer. He is, and I think that he's just so excited to be in this situation. And I think the coaches, or I'm sorry, the GMs and the people that are above him, they know him as a successful guy in the league. And if you're going to say that somebody like Tomlin or John Harbaugh is successful, which they both are, they're not Andy Reid by any means, then you have to say that Mike McCarthy is a successful coach in the NFL. He's won a Super Bowl. He's, we played, I coached for 13 years, had success, groomed quarterbacks, worked with Dak Prescott and Aaron Rodgers for a very long time. So at the end of the day, it's a fresher breath there, yeah. Mike, I think, for both parties. I think the Steelers like him because he already comes with hitting the ground running, in a sense. On top of being a Pittsburgh guy, that gives you the motivation, I think, man. And I think that Mike is certainly motivated. And I think, again, the Steelers, I think that is a breath of fresh air for them as well. Not saying anything bad about Coach Tomlin, just saying that what is on the table right now, I think the Steelers are feeling good about that. And I do think that is a breath of fresh air for both parties, Coach McCarthy and for the Steelers.
Yeah, and, this is a new coaching staff for the front office to work with. They want to, okay, we have our vision in place. We know you have vision in place, but, the team vision is going to trump whatever they want to do. How can we meld it together? What kind of players are you looking for to fit your system? But keep in mind, we have our overreaching philosophy. And I think that has to energize everyone because you want to make it work, melding those philosophies. And, we knew what Tomlin, we knew the players they liked to draft, so they knew what to look for and who not to worry about. Now, you don't know 100% what this coaching staff wants to look for in players, so you don't know who to suggest. So when you're getting the recommendations from the coaching staff to hey, these are the type of players we like, here's a list of names we like, then the scouts and the GMs go and work on that. That's going to make them excited. How can we get these guys? Do these guys fit into our system? It's like you said, man, the energy there is through the roof, and how can you not like that when you're reading that, the infectious energy running through that building right now, the breath of fresh air that, because 18 years, everything's going to become stale, and we see it's working in the other two teams in Pittsburgh. Hopefully it works out for the Steelers, and I think this draft is just going to be a home run for the team.
You know what? I think it's necessary. I think that it is necessary for the Steelers to hit a home run, because if they do hit a home run, that means things are going smooth. Mm-hmm. You put this coaching staff together. You went out and handled free agency like a champ, and you brought in some Justin Pittmans and some other big things that went on. So again, if this draft is a home run for the Steelers, you just have to think, okay, things are going, man. This is definitely not where a lot of fans thought we were going to be the day after they lose to the Houston Texans back in January, and saying, okay, back to square one, back to the drawing board. Let's figure out what it is we got to do next. And you kind of just had that feeling of, all right, whatever, we've been here, done that. Yeah. What can we possibly do to change this after certainly a decade? So again, Mike, I really do. There's certainly an optimism feeling about this, and everything to this point. The fact that there's not been any incidents or anything that really made you any signs for concern, really. I think the only big thing at this point would be, of course, the Aaron Rodgers, the wait out. But you know what? Everybody expected that this was going to be here with Aaron Rodgers, with Mike Tomlin, with Mike McCarthy, or any of these other young coaches, Mike. It was probably going to play out that way with Aaron. So again, if that's the worst thing we have right now, a lot of people feeling very, very confident that it will be Aaron this year. So at this point, again, there's not much that you would even change. Things are going well.
No, and I think this is why they went with a coach who's been in and around the league, because him and his staff know how to, deal with the offseason, what's going on. You get a brand new head coach. Okay, they're new in this role. Like, how comfortable are they going to be to put forth their opinion, or are they going to be over opinionated and trying to drown out and have a power struggle with the current GM? I think the way McCarthy and Khan have been working together, I think that's awesome. It's a smooth transition, and it's turning out right now in the offseason. This hiring of Mike McCarthy seems to be a great hire. Hopefully, we can continue it over to once we get out onto the field.
That's the goal. Let's hope that we can do it. Let's go to Tortilla on the board. Tortilla Jackson says this: the Steelers are like the Avengers, and Tater is like the Zemo guy. He gets in our head. That's how he beats us. Tater. We haven't seen Tater for a couple of days. Mark Malone, what's up, dude? Always great seeing the great Mark Malone on the terrible board. Mark says, yeah, Porter really turned it on that game. Hope you had a nice Easter, Mark, as always, my friend. Cody says this: you had Porter Senior's spit on people when it was normal. I know now people demonize you now, man. If you
now you can't do fun stuff like that anymore.
Come on. Let's go right here to Jason. Jason Atkins. What's up, brother? Always great seeing Jason on the terrible board as well. He says this: Ians are funny as hell, just cussing each other out the other day.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens.
It happens.
Cody says Mike only knows Drew Aller.
Who?
Who's this Mike? Who's
Mike and who's Drew Aller? My quarterback is going first overall, baby.
Cody says Mike is to Drew Aller as Tyrone is to JPJ.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Ty says Mute DK Warren Happy Smith is gone. Absolutely, guys. And a little scoop on I want to talk about running backs for a couple of minutes. Speaking of Warren, I got two things, as a matter of fact, as it comes down to the running backs. So let me talk about Caleb Johnson first, Mike. Caleb Johnson apparently has been given a clean slate, which I think is 100% fair and what should be done, as a matter of fact, because the rookie who never returned kicks let a ball hit off him in the end zone last year in the second game of the year in his NFL career, and it resulted in the other team scoring a touchdown. Mike, this is Mike McCarthy coming in and kind of giving him a clean slate. He said that he's not ready to give up on Caleb Johnson. He referred to the embarrassing moment, of course. Mike, again, this kind of just falls into everything that you want to see from your team. Things are going well. Free agency went well. Coaching staff's going well. Voluntaries this week. Things are going good. Draft's coming in a little over 2 weeks. Mike McCarthy's smoothing things over with players. Caleb Johnson, who was treated like the redheaded stepchild last year after his accident, or after the mistake.
Yeah.
So McCarthy kind of seems like he's coming in and bringing everything together. And again, I'm not saying Mike Tomlin didn't have things together. I'm just saying you're really feeling the vibe of this team, and it all comes together, Mike. And again, I wanted to include that little tidbit about Caleb Johnson in there, because this could also be mean well for somebody like Roman Wilson, somebody who we thought probably should have been on the field a little bit more. And then if Aaron has an issue with Roman, whatever it may be, again, Coach McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers worked together for 13 years in Green Bay. If anybody has influence and can talk to Aaron, okay, Aaron, what can we do to get Roman Wilson in the lineup? What can we do for him to become more? Again, I just really feels like there's certainly with that connection right there, like that relationship, the coach quarterback connection. I think that could go a long way, especially for some of those little things like leaving Muth out or leaving Roman Wilson out. I think those things, you're going to start to see changes to that.
I hope so too. And, you're going to have an offensive system that's going to be catered to Aaron Rodgers, better his skill sets, because, who knows him better than Mike McCarthy? It's trying to figure out another coach that knows him better. And I think we're going to like what we see. And, these guys have a whole year working with Aaron Rodgers. These receivers and tight ends and running backs are going to know what he wants done. And, I like how McCarthy's wiping the slate clean, especially for someone like Caleb Johnson. Hopefully they can find a way to work him into this scheme, because otherwise it's going to be a wasted draft pick. Because we drafted him for a certain scheme, and now that whole entire coaching staff's gone. So now it looks bad on the player, it looks bad on the GM, it looks bad on the coaches, where, it's going to be hard to find who was really at fault for that pick if he doesn't pan out. So hopefully he will pan out, and they can find a way for him. And same thing with Roman Wilson too. If I find a way to use them, these guys have talent. We've definitely seen it from Roman Wilson when he was able to get the ball in his hands last year. He was able to make things happen. So hopefully, for whatever reason he couldn't see the field, that shit gets rectified, because there's got to be a room for someone of his build and stature inside this offense around all these giants. He can be that little guy that gets lost in the wake.
In my other parts of this running backs room I want to talk about, Mike, who is the primary runner? Who is the primary? Who's considered the starting running back? If you're talking to people and they say you're Steelers, who's your running back this year? Without giving them the whole rundown of, we have a running back by committee, and this guy is going to play, and this guy's going to come in on third. But this guy, without giving all that information, Mike, in a short form answer, who is the Steelers' primary running back this year, and why?
I'm going to have to go with Rico Dwaddle. I think he is the guy. They brought him in. They want him to be the every down runner. And I think out of the running back room, they're going to look for guys to just pound the rock or tote the rock and not be used into be heavily relied on into the passing game. And he's a pretty good pass catcher, but he's nowhere near the level of Kenny Gainwell was, or even Jalen Warren is. So for me, in my mind, that makes Rico our number one running back, to where he's just going to be counted on to just run.
Let me ask you this: when Warren's contract comes around, is it going to be worth it for him to stay here? If especially if he's not going to be the guy, they're just going to continue to carousel guys in to play over him. When it comes time to sit down and figure out what Jalen Warren wants to do with the next step of his career, does he continue to play in Pittsburgh? Because again, Najee was here; he was the other guy. Kenneth Gainwell came, and Warren was the other guy. And then if you're right, if Rico Dowdle becomes here and becomes the starter, he again is going to be the other guy. At some point, is Warren going to want to be the guy? I mean, the guy runs. He can start. There's not a doubt in my mind he can start in the NFL. But again, he always continues to be the other guy. Again, it's working, and you can kind of justify it. But at the end of the day, for him personally, as a football player, as a man, as a professional, is he going to want to be involved in something more? And again, is it right, Mike, that he continues to be the other guy when he's the only thing consistent in that running back room?
Right. It does kind of feel like, you can make an argument like, he's kind of getting the short end of the straw. But, even it being the other guy in this offense, he gets a shit ton of playing time every game and every season. So he may personally want to go somewhere and to be the number one who gets 25 carries a year or a game, but I don't think, his body and build can handle that because of his running style, constantly seeking contact. I think he
reminds me of
in the perfect role.
Frank Gore. He's kind of, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And Gore did very well. But at the end of the day, it just makes you wonder, because they keep bringing a guy in to play over you. It just makes you wonder when it's time to sit down and negotiate and talk to your agent. Is this what I want to continue to do? And again, as a man, as a professional, as somebody who's living their dream, they could probably, as human, you probably think, well, I could do something more. I could display what it is that I do more and be more effective on the field. And it just makes me wonder how that's going to play out. Where does Jalen Warren's contract sit right now? What's the next move for him?
He's going to be up. I think this is the last year of his contract, so he's going to be looking for a new contract, and depending on how he's used, this could be his last year in Pittsburgh. But this what's the most he's ever toted the rock last year was 211 times, and then he caught the ball 40 times. That's the most he's been used in the Steelers offense, and we used Kenny G a lot last year too.
However, we'll see how that goes, though, because again, that was how the team was only able to run the way that we ran it last year because of the lack of a lot of things that we had. So again, I want to see how it plays out when we actually have ideal situations, two wide receivers. So again, it's interesting because again, people love Jalen. He runs hard, and I would love to see him continue to stay here. But at the end of the day, he's probably going to take a little bit, not a lot of money to stay here to continue to be the other guy. What if somebody comes along and offers them, a big deal in Houston or Miami or wherever, and they say, bro, we're going to give you a lot of money, and you're going to come here and you're going to start and tote the ball 25, 30 times a game?
He'd be stupid not to take it because he's
I'd
going
agree.
to be 28 in November, and he's already played 4 years in the league. He's already outlived the shelf life of the average running back's career. So he's playing with house money right now. He's running on borrowed time. He's got to make as much money as he can after this year as quickly as he can. So he'd be stupid not to take the money. And last year, he finished 958 yards. That was 19th in the NFL.
And he's the other guy.
So we want to see. I want to see what like you said, what's he going to be able to do this year, splitting all that time with Rico, who also he ran for 1,000 yards last year, carried the ball 236 times. So there's not going to be that many touches to go around. But if he plays well here, gets a decent amount of playing time, and fits well into the scheme and gels with the new coaching staff, I can see him coming back to be the other guy. Because if it's a good situation, you're making a lot of money, you're playing well, you're winning games, you can, sacrifice the amount of carries that you're getting as long as you're getting compensated fairly and you're winning and you're playing too. Like there a lot of guys will be like, hell yeah, man, this is the perfect situation for me. And Jalen kind of strikes me as that guy. He doesn't strike me as that greedy guy, but I would never blame him for running at a chance if a team wants to offer him stupid money for one last hurrah. I just don't think it's going to happen.
We're going to get into the quarterbacks here in just a second, Mike, but I'm going to use this to get to Cody's quarterback question or comment. He says, Mike only knows Drew Aller. And somebody says this, Cody says, Mike has a Drew Aller poster on his wall.
No, it's not on the wall. It's on the ceiling.
Well, that's what it says, but I know you have the one on your wall. Let's go right here to Cody. Tortilla. Tortilla says Cody has Connor Hayward on his bed. So,
I'm sorry. Jalen Warren signed through 2027. My apologies.
So let's go to a couple ones that I did jump over to get to that particular comment. Cody says, Mike is, we did get this one. Ty, Muth, DK, Warren, Happy Smith is gone. Yeah, you ain't kidding. And Roman Wilson, too. I would assume Roman Wilson. Again, Cody, let's go past this right here to Cody. Cody says, Tortilla is doing karaoke with tortas. Tortilla saying, better tie the lamp down. Cody says 200 pounds or more. RB, I have heard there are a handful of teams who see Dunker as a tackle still.
This man right here, it just screams guard.
Yeah.
He screams like he should be in the interior beating up defensive tackles, not on the edge. And I don't think he moves as well to be out as a tackle. I think guard would be the perfect spot for him.
Absolutely. He's built like a guard. And again, we'll see, though. We appreciate that. RB would know. Corn 1999 says, well, Steelers will do nothing, bro. That's true. Always great seeing Corn 1999 on the terrible board. Let's scoot along here a little bit further to Mark Maloney. Says, I think Dunker can play right. And that's what I was just going to actually say that. I was going to say, if he plays tackle, I would assume that it would be right tackle. I don't really see him being a backside tackle. I just don't. Like he's built like a guard. He's built like a guard.
Yeah, he built like a guard, moves like a guard. Looks like a duck, acts like a duck, quacks like a duck. Put him where he needs to be.
Cody does the tush push at home. Like he does the home version of the tush push is what Tortilla is saying.
Hey, brother, Fat Jesus doesn't judge, brother.
Cody says this. Yeah, he's the opposite of the Jesus. He doesn't judge as Jesus would be the judge.
Nope. No, you do your thing. I drink for your sins.
He just watches everybody go to hell. Let's go to Cody. Cody says the new.
I ain't safe shit except me some lot lizards.
Cody says the new Peaky Blinders movie is out. Tater's probably watching it on repeat. Oh, there he is. Look, just speaking of the devil. Look who just walked in.
Ugh.
Tater Tart on the board saying the Browns number one. Let's go to Tortilla. Tater says Brown's number one. Tortilla says Tater just said poop and pee. That's what I heard too. That is why I did. That's why I did go with this. Let's go to RB. RB says to clarify, is it Jesus or Jesus? Well, it's not Cody, so I think we're gonna stick with Jesus, right?
Yeah. And his following comment I understand why we need clarification, but it is Jesus.
All right, let me get to that. Next comment, RB says the glasses and bandana is making it confusing. I'm seeing the Jesus now. Maybe wear a button-up shirt tomorrow, Mike, and only button the top button.
Cholo Fat Jesus, hell yeah.
You might be Fat Jesus tomorrow.
I'll be coming out here with what? Oh god, I forgot the Mexican wrestlers' names. Never mind. That just totally lost it. I had a bit and I lost it.
RB, are you saying he looks like he has a weight bench in his front yard? Is that what you're saying?
Wearing my jorts. Hell yeah.
With the big fuzzy dice in your window. Yes. Let's go right here. Cody says, hey, Suze. Let's go, Mark Malone. Johnson has turned to Father Maxwell and is going to confession regularly. I'm hoping that Father Maxwell has a big year this year as well. RB says, I think it's a bandana. It seems awfully big for a yarmulke. Cody says, when the new Jesus died, they jammed Derpy in the hole to make sure he didn't come out.
That is fucking golden.
Somber says both Rico and Warren run hard. One of them will get injured at some point this season. KJ has to take advantage of Rico. You're 100% right.
Yep.
100% right. Facts. Somber. Ty says this. Cody says D'Angelo Williams is was a shit, but got outshined by Levy. But absolutely. Tortilla says this. Rico can be a 3-down back, and Warren is probably the best back in the league on 3rd down. There's Tater. I hope you had a nice Easter, Tater. I do want to say welcome to 384 Un. He says Steelers, welcome to the terrible board. Welcome to the show, 384. Glad to have you. Hope that you had a great weekend. Hope you had a nice Easter. Let's go to Tortilla. He says Choco Thunder. And yes, Cody, that was the first person that popped in my mind as well. It was Rey Mysterio Jr. Mike Rey
Yes,
Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio and Conan. That was the other. Yeah.
How about Eddie Guerrero?
Hey, man, lie, cheat, steal, win. Eddie Guerrero is a saint.
Latino Heat. Yes, absolutely. Mike, let's get into quarterbacks. We talked the other week about nobody in Pittsburgh really wants Kirk Cousins, of course, and he ended up getting picked up elsewhere, so that's a good thing, Mike. But we talked about how much money this guy made in the NFL. I have the list of the top five all-time top earners in the NFL that that played the position of quarterback, Mike. There's 5 of them here. There's 10 Super Bowls that are won between the 5 of them. Let's break this down. The highest paid quarterback in the history of the NFL, Mike. Most money accumulated with $408 million in 1 Super Bowl won. Matthew Stafford, Mike, the highest paid quarterback in the history of the NFL. Matthew Stafford. It's crazy because you hear guys like with all these names that you hear, especially throughout time, John Elway, Peyton Manning's, that everybody. Matthew Stafford, number 1, made more money playing quarterback than any other person ever in the history of the NFL.
You know what? I can respect that. He was lighting the league up for a long ass time before he won that Super Bowl. And
Absolutely
finally escaped the hellhole that is the Detroit Lions.
And you know what I think really allowed Detroit allowed to happen? It really allowed you to see that Jared Goff really wasn't that good, and that Matt Stafford was better than he was given credit for.
Yeah.
I like the way that this turned out. I truly do. I'm like, number 1 best, most earned money all time by an NFL quarterback, Matthew Stafford, 1 Super Bowl, $408 million. Number two, top 5 all time earning quarterbacks in the NFL. is the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback free agent Aaron Rodgers, like $395 million earned in his career, which is the second most amount by an NFL quarterback. Also, a one win. He has a Super Bowl win as well. Like,
one Super Bowl and what, like 3 or 4 MVP awards? I think 4 of them. So yeah, that makes sense.
so just $13 million less than Stafford. Again, Stafford with $408 million, and Aaron Rodgers $395. Now to the point of the conversation, Mike. Number 3 all time on most money earned by a quarterback in the NFL, Kirk Cousins. There you have it. No Super Bowls. Kirk Cousins, $341 million all time, Mike. Third all time money made. Kirk Cousins, and we were talking about that last week. The guy played for 4 teams, and he's been around the league, and never really is. He has good success in the regular season. Doesn't do much in the offseason or off postseason. I'm sorry, Mike, but the top third most paid quarterback of all time with $341 million is a guy that never won a Super Bowl and is again probably on this list of people. Certainly by championships won, not as good as everybody else, but Mike, he still managed to make the third highest amount of money in NFL history as a quarterback.
That is nuts. He has one playoff win on his resume, made all that money. Good for him. His agent should end up in the Hall of Fame, by far. It's just crazy, man, how like teams will pay money for a quarterback that can put up numbers in the regular season. It's good work if you can find it, I guess. It just baffles me that all that money was guaranteed as well. I was never a big fan of Kirk Cousins. Never was, never will be. It's just mind-boggling to me that he made that much money with one playoff win. He's the TJ Watt of quarterbacks.
I tell you what, he's done more than our team has done in the past 10 years. But you know what? That's beside the point. Mike, I would have taken him over certainly some of the decisions we made over the past few years. Mitch Trubisky, just to start. But anyway, he certainly would have done better, I feel, than all those guys. But Mike, he is the third highest paid all-time quarterback of all time. Let's go to number 4. Now, I mentioned that there was 10 Super Bowls between these 5. So far, Matthew Stafford has 1 Super Bowl, Aaron Rodgers 1, Cousins none. So that means, of course, everybody knows who's coming up. Tom Brady, the 4th highest paid quarterback all time in NFL history with $333 million, just $8 million behind Kirk Cousins. So let's take a look at this. Tom Brady with 7 Super Bowl wins, $333 million. Kirk Cousins 1 playoff win, $341 million. As you said, Mike, I think that agent needs to go to the NFL Hall of Fame for Kirk Cousins. There's no other explanation for this.
Yeah, it's just great work by that agent. He is he's a genius, and I want him to negotiate any of my future contracts for me. It's how you can get Kirk Cousins guaranteed money like that for years. It's crazy. He's serviceable quarterback. Yeah, man. He can sling the ball, but my God, when the pressure rises, he crumbles.
Let's go to number 5. So far right now, Mike, number 1, Matt Stafford, $408 million. Aaron Rodgers, number 2, $395 million. Cousins, number 3, $341 million. Tom Brady, $333 million. That is the top 4. That is 9 of the 10 Super Bowls. That is the most money made. Number 5 on this list, the 5th highest paid quarterback in the history of the NFL, also was a Pittsburgh Steeler. No, it's not Big Ben. No, it's not anybody besides Russell Wilson, Mike, the 5th highest paid quarterback in the history of the NFL, coming in at $317 million, only $16 million behind Tom Brady, which again, when you compare anybody to Tom Brady, everything seems ridiculous because at the end of the day, you say Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl, $317 million, but Tom Brady, again, the GOAT, 7 Super Bowl victories. I think he went to 15. I don't know how many he went to, but Mike, $333 million for Tom Brady. Russell Wilson, $317, rounding out the top 5 highest paid quarterbacks of all time.
Right. At least Russ got himself a Super Bowl victory as well in there. He was an exciting quarterback, but that was a lot of money for him. He was good, but I don't think he was that good. But hey, fucking more power to Russ, baby.
Well,
And we were able to get him for $1 million a year. I'll take it.
They had a whole thing going on over there. The Seattle, that was part of what they did. They had the defense, they had the 12th man, and then what it was they was able to do with the offense. Marshawn Lynch, they had a whole thing. So I respect that, and he did really well. And again, led that team to Super Bowls. Didn't win them all, but you know what? Multiple Super Bowl appearances. And not everybody can even be close to being in that conversation, Mike. Is teams that still are in the league that's never been there yet. So a guy takes your team a couple times. I give you the credit, all the credit in the world. So breaks down, Mike. Top highest paid quarterback, Stafford, $408 million is what he earned. Aaron Rodgers, $395. I'm sorry. Kirk Cousins, $341. Tom Brady, $333. Russell Wilson, $317. Mike, that is the 5 highest paid quarterbacks of all time. Any surprises on there? Anybody that you thought maybe was going to be on this list that didn't quite make it yet, or anybody that is on the list that you didn't think was going to be there?
It is shocking that Russ was that high, and that Kirk Cousins was that high. Like Peyton Manning, I thought would have been on there, but I gotta remember like the era that he played in. They weren't getting these truly ridiculous contracts. I thought he would have been up there. Surprised Mahomes isn't up there, but his contract turned out to be team friendly when he signed it. For what, like a $250 million? It was like, oh my god, this is going to kill their team. But that contract seems more and more affordable every day. So there's a couple surprises there.
Absolutely. This is going to lead me, Mike, to Aaron Rodgers' raise. Last year he played $13 million for a season. That seems to be what the going rate for somebody like him is going to be. Mike, and some of the speculation about 10 days ago came out and said some of the speculation was that it was some of the holdup was money, which I don't believe that. I mean, let's just say that, money is something that's being discussed or figured out with agents or whatever. In the meantime, I don't have a problem believing that, but I don't think it's what's slowing the process. I think Aaron being Aaron is what slows this process. But at the end of the day, Mike, where do you see Aaron Rodgers' contract being? Like, say he comes back, say he decides to come back. We get the word here in the next 17 days, and he's going to come back. What's Aaron going to be paying? What's fair for Aaron? Again, remember the guy came in on a minimal contract. He came in last year and got us 10 wins and got us to the playoffs and a few things like this. Where do you fairly put him when it comes time to paying out money, Mike? What's your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers' compensation this year if he does come back to play for the Steelers?
I think a nice bump to $18 to $20 million is fair. For someone of his age. He's only going to be here for one more year, and the production that he gave you, you're looking, he should be paid probably in like the $30 million a year range if you get based off of like yards, touchdown, and interception ratio and shit.
Shouldn't you lose value if you're getting excessively older? I mean,
I think so. I think it should drive your value down because we're the only team out there that wants you.
Right. And when you're younger and you have all the energy and all the fight in the world, obviously you don't have that. Yes, you're good. You have the experience, but at the end of the day, you know what I mean? You're 43 years old this season. At some point, you would think that would have to play into it as well. But it's going to be friendly, even though it's going to be higher than it was, obviously. I think it's going to be fair at the end of the day, Mike. And I think right around that 18 to 20 mark is not a bad it's not a bad guess.
No, and that's where it should be based on his age. If this was prime Aaron Rodgers, you'd be looking at like $50 million a year, and you'd be backing up the Brinks truck for him with a smile on your face because he's going to fucking tear it up. But for what he gives you now at that advanced stage, he's not who he once was. So 20 mil max.
Let's go back on the board. Let's go right here. Somber says Tater a dump is usually referred to dump is usually referred to as a number two. I don't know what I missed, but I'll add that to the mix. Let's do scoot up here to Cody. Cody says he spent all that money on his teeth. Good Lord, Somber says. Cody says I'd pick Stafford over Rodgers any day of the week. I'd give him a run. There's nothing about me that would turn Matthew Stafford away. Again, he showed you while being in Detroit when the team was no good, he continued to be a good quarterback. And then we went to Los Angeles and won a Super Bowl there, something that the Rams haven't done since 99. And Kurt Warner was in the house. But Stafford, I'd give him Mike, and he was last year. We were talking about options before he signed that contract with the Rams. He was certainly somebody we talked about in abundance here on the show. Would love to have. Would have loved to have.
I would love to have had him, but the rumors of like his back being so bad, he couldn't barely walk and couldn't throw. It was like, you didn't want him, but like when you found out he was actually healthy, he's like, fuck, man, he would have been great to have had last year. He's still able to sling it, but with our O line and him not being as mobile, I wonder if last year if he would have been like killed back there early in the season with the O line struggles early on.
Perhaps he would have. Let's go to Tyrone. I'm sorry, Tyrone says how the F is Cousins one playoff win. I know that's what because he played for. Listen, he played for the Redskins. He played for the Vikings. He played for Atlanta, and now with where is he? The Raiders. I mean, he was never really on any really good teams, and that was the thing that I think kind of hurt him, Mike. I mean, because the Vikings, certainly a little bit better as of recent. He kind of just missed that. Washington was no good all the way up until the year they went to the championship game 2 years ago. So that's a great question, Mike. That's a lot of money for a guy that really ultimately didn't get it done.
Yeah, it didn't do a damn thing when it mattered most, and that's why he is the TJ Watt of quarterbacks.
Somber says Cousins should buy his agent a house.
He's probably bought his agent a shit ton of houses. All that commission, fuck yeah.
Tyrone says, I don't know. Cody took Stafford while to get like that. And it was a lot of tough years in Detroit. No two ways about it. Tortilla says Kirk Cousins is the Tom Brady of Kenny Pickett's.
That's a good one right there.
It's so many layers. I don't have the energy to even try to figure it out, to be honest. But I like it. You know what? You're getting a game ball. Tortilla. Kirk Cousins is the Tom Brady of Kenny Pickett's. I'm starting to unreel it now in my mind, and it actually does make sense. Cody says, "This how is Deshaun Watson not in there?" I know, right? The amount of money Cleveland's going to end up paying him when it's all said and done is incredible, unbelievable. But only in Cleveland, baby. Cody says, "Guaranteed to sit on the couch." Let's scoot up a little bit more. Yeah, Tater says a lot of money wasted. Absolutely. $218 million guaranteed to Deshaun Watson. That's insane. For Deshaun Watson, no less.
Great.
It wasn't even a guy that, all right, he looked okay in Houston, but come on. That's
for that amount of money, it is insane.
And the fact that they got literally... What have they gotten from him so far since he's been with that team? Nothing. All he's been is headaches.
Yeah.
You gave $218 million for somebody to give you headaches for 5 years. That's Cleveland in a nutshell, though. You gotta love it. Ty says Browns paying like 7 quarterbacks. I know, it's unbelievable what's going on over there. And then right here, Tater says he fires back at Cody because Cody made the comment about the $218 million guaranteed. Cody says, "Then what's your point, Cody? You numpty." You numpty. You bloody numpty. Let's go to Cody. Cody says Deshaun doing the Humpty dance with Cleveland's money. Yeah, you ain't kidding. He's taking them big paychecks and going and getting happy endings, and that's what's going on. Cleveland's getting nothing from this. The Browns, he's getting a load of money, and he's going out and getting happy endings. So who's really winning? Tater Tot says this. Piss Puke paid Charlie Batch about $200 over 10 years. Well, he was probably one of the better backup quarterbacks in that time period. And Charlie, what?
$200 million to Charlie Batch. He earned $23 million in his career.
All right, there you go. I thought this didn't sound right, Tater. There you go. Let us fix this for you. It sounds like you're confused. Charlie Batch made Mike how much?
23.6.
23.6, and that was in his career.
Yeah.
There you go, Tater. can only imagine being in Ireland trying to figure all this stuff out. Tortilla says Tater eats Dollar Tree eggs. Those are the ones that when you fry them, they're like rubber. What's going on with our food anymore? But anyway, what is it? Dollar Tree egg. Oh yeah, the Dollar Tree is the worst. Steeler Freak, what's up, dude? Always great seeing John on the terrible board. He says this: Roger's got to pay his AI wife. Don't be lowballing his ass. Great seeing you, John, as always, my man. Also, Somber says this: $15 million max. Rustin Fieldson got us the same record. Let's go to Mark Maloney. He says Taters, deep throats, haggis. Steel Loyal says terrible compensation Tater. Or everything the Browns do, though, they have that shit touch, like the Midas touch. Everything they touch turns to shit. It's never changed. It's never, in my life, that's never been any different. Never. Isn't that incredible?
They've just been bad at everything.
Who the hell is the worst team in the league for 50 straight years? I mean, come on. John says Rodgers isn't on the same level of Stafford. Stafford would get picked up by 27 teams by now. Absolutely, but we'll see when he's 43 years old. We'll see how that all goes. Steel Loyal says Rodgers is also 6 years older than Stafford. Let's go to Steeler Freak, where John says Cousin is the third highest overall in pay as far as quarterbacks and only one playoff win, one playoff game. That's even worse. At least some playoff losses could account for something. Let's go right here to Steeler Freak. Also says this: as soon as I get a feeling you guys are going nuclear, I will say something. No more B. You tried to warn him. You tried to tell him, don't take the bait. He just don't listen.
But the thing is that, like, the chat's delayed, so I didn't see it in time.
He's as stubborn as a mule.
How dare you speak of fat Jesus that way?
Let's go to Ty. Ty says Tater, that's crap maybe. Tater was counting in euros. There it is. That's what it was. Tater was counting in euros. That's how he got so far off. Or pounds. Ty says, see, Browns fans just say dumb shit. They sure do. And John insists that I bait. Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes.
You know what, Gail? I do want to say welcome. Let me try to. Gail's man Papu 869. Welcome to the show. I think we saw your name before. I do want to say welcome back, or if we haven't, welcome. Dexter Lawrence to the Steelers. I mean, we would love to have that be the case, especially with our defensive line situation, Mike. People go on and on about how great Harmon looked as a rookie, and but at the end of the day, obviously Cam Hayward doesn't have much time left in him. And even with some of the depth that we do have, like Y.A. Black, he still has room to improve. So I would love to have a Dexter on our defensive line. But, Mike, at the end of the day, it doesn't seem very possible, does it?
I don't think so. He's due his $26 million or about $27 million cap hit this year. Like I said, if there's anyone who can make it work, it would be Omar Khan. And I'd love to have big old sexy Dexy on my team. It did take a little dip last year in production, but yeah, that team was ass. Bring him over here. I think he'd be rejuvenated. We'd find a way to make him work.
I mean, you know what? And as Gal's saying, I mean, it would be great. I would love it. But again, there's just a lot of things that we have to take care of right now. We kind of went through our free agency period. We kind of spent the money. And again, there's just things that we have to take care of right now and get some things shored up, and still trying to figure out our quarterback salary. So it's tough, especially a guy that makes good money like he does. Can Omar Khan make it happen? Probably. And would I love to see it? Absolutely. But I just don't know. I just don't know at this point, Mike. There could be a lot of teams sees this information and gets very excited and does react and jump on it. I just don't know if we're in position right now to make this particular move. However, I would love it.
Yeah, I would too. I'd take it in a goddamn heartbeat.
I would too. John says, Mike, I will call Ryan out when he gets in his jousting mood. I do want to say also welcome to John. John says, afternoon, fellas. Dude, of course,
What
on the
up,
terrible
homie?
board. Great seeing Dude. Big weekend. Big weekend here in Pittsburgh as it is moving forward, guys. Just 17 days away from the NFL draft right here in Pittsburgh, PA. Cody says, you can't see Derpy because he's jammed in Mike's door frame. Can't see Derpy because he's jammed
Derpy.
in Mike's
Wow.
door frame.
Yeah, I would never let Derpy know where I live. I'm not stupid.
What about when he was talking to going down to the draft, and he was like, "Oh, I guess I could probably go, but I'd have to be able to stay at somebody's house." Finch, would that be okay? And Finch just it wasn't even without thought. Finch was like, you know what? I don't think my wife would like any extra people stay or some weird shit like
Yeah.
that.
Exactly. He was smart.
Yeah,
He was like, don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
he's like, maybe I'll just stay at Finch's house.
He shot that down so fast.
And the thing about Finch's wife, she's like the nicest person in the world. She'd probably like, yeah, let him. He could come sleep on the couch.
Well, we'll find a spot for him. He could live down in the basement.
Yeah, there's ample room in that in the studio. Yeah. Finch, he didn't waste a second.
I don't blame him because I would be like, hell nah, to the nah.
I wouldn't mind if he stayed at Finch's house.
At Finch's house, yes. Not my house.
I have no problem with that at all.
Nothing.
I have no problem with him going to Finch's, to be honest. Let's go to Steel Loyal says, I wish, Gil. I do. Listen, if Dexter Lawrence comes here, dude, I'm gonna be thrilled. Again, especially with the state of this defensive line. Mike, I don't know if enough was done during this offseason to justify what we went through last year with stopping the run in some games. Yes, Miami run game we were able to stop, but you know what? Miami's not a good team. They had at the time they were running well, but on the other hand, a team that's not exactly a great running team. The Buffalo Bills come into town and run for 250 yards against us in our home stadium. So again, did we do enough that's going to be able to stop the run? Inside linebackers, still the same, still Queen, still Wilson. Defensive line, still the same. So again, this is a concern of mine, certainly knowing that we're going to be going after offensive linemen and a wide receiver in the draft, more than likely on the top part of the draft. So at what point, Mike, does this defensive line get fixed? And boy, getting a Dexter Lawrence on that defensive line certainly answers some of those questions.
It would. And you just hope like last year was just, he was just on a bad team and production dipped a little bit because, before last year, he was just all world at, stopping the run and rushing the passer. I give him to me. We'll gladly take him off your hand for, a fourth round pick.
I would love it. And you know what? We have the capital. Why not? Go get it done, Omar. Let's check out what John the Steeler Freak is saying. Derpy was scarred for life from Friday. He is at White Castle getting survival.
Nothing a few sliders won't fix.
And White Castle sounds really good. And you know what's funny about White Castle? You know how I always complain about fast food burgers being so expensive now? $10 for a burger, $9. White Castle, you get a couple of those little tiny sliders, and it would be I like a box of them is expensive, Mike. It's 6 sliders, and it's a whole shitload of money. So I guess I shouldn't be complaining.
Yeah, it's like I've been to White Castle one time. That was enough.
Tyrone says, "What's Dexter's worth?" Mike, grab his money real quick.
Yeah, I got his contract right here. It is $27 million this year and $27 million next year.
And that's again, that's doable, I guess. And I would love it. And again, I think that would answer a lot of questions, Mike. It would certainly put us in a better position than we were, certainly on the defensive line. Still did also, Mikey said about $20 million a year. Cody says Finch's wife said, I think we can put 2 California king-size beds together. I was thinking that Finch would probably be more in the line of using the bed of his truck, if anything.
Yeah.
If anything, having him sleep out there. Mark Malone says, without Tomlin, that defense will be more than fine. And I hope you're right. And you know what? I guess at the end of the day, let's say that. Let's say the new coordinators, and hopefully that's the difference. when it comes to the middle of that defense, Mike, because again, there was not much improvement. Yes, you you brought in some safeties, and yes, that could certainly help out in the running game. But at the end of the day, the bread and the butter, the positions that just got the ball jammed down their throat, play after play after play in that primetime game, that has to be fixed, Mike, because you ain't gonna listen. You might be able to pull off a win in January if you're an improved team, but you ain't going to win many games in January if you can't stop the run. If somebody can continue to run the ball right down your throat like they did, again, that is a concern of mine, Mike. Hopefully Patrick Graham can fix it.
Hopefully. If not, it's going to be another long season.
Let's go to John. John says Costco hot dog, baby. Costco hot dog. Also, Steel Loyal says Costco pizza is good as fuck. Tater says, why would he leave a team on the team he actually requested to be traded? See, I don't think Tater gets all the information over there.
I don't think so either. Or I don't think he has the brain power to process all the info.
Well, he is a Browns fan, but as of I don't know, recently, Dexter Lawrence has requested to be moved from the Giants. That's what's going on there. Also, Steel Loyal. Oh, there it is. Steel Loyal says he requested a trade. Tater, use your brains for once.
You numpty.
You numpty. He thinks that the Deshaun Watson is a good deal. Cody said, why did Deshaun Watson leave a team on the up and up for Cleveland to make money without playing? Yeah, he was. Houston was looking better and better as the years went on, and then he went to Cleveland, and you see how that played out. Where are we here? I think we were caught up on the messages. Mike, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website?
Head on over to the dumyinzers.com. It's over there. We got all of our draft insight. We got our all of our social media over there. All kinds of fun stuff happening over at the2dumyinzers.com. I did hit a snag today with the mock draft. I had a nice long thing written up explaining every goddamn pick I made, and it crashed, and it did not save on me. But I did get a mock draft up there. Brief little explanations on a couple of the picks, because you're going to look at it and you're going to scratch your head. Just read the little comment to the side and explains the thought process from Fat Jesus, baby. Check it out at the2dumyinzers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. A lot of cool things over there. Mike's done a lot of work, and there's articles by Chop. There's articles by RB. Lots of good stuff leading up to the draft, guys, as the draft is just 17 days away right here in Pittsburgh, PA. Here's something really cool, Mike. Something that I pulled up from somebody had put up from the Pirates over the weekend as they did open up their home schedule. There was a pretty cool area, I guess, built between the two stadiums next to the PNC Park across the from the Red Garage and the Red 5A lot next to the Hyatt. Mike, it has like a stage, a big, huge screen, like a big like a jumbo screen. It has food. Looks like donut shops are in there. It used to be one of the colored lots. It was taken at the game, Mike. So if you are down in Pittsburgh, especially with the draft coming up, especially with the Pirates playing 10 of their next 13 games at home, the Penguins heading toward the playoffs, go check it out, Mike. It looks really cool. There's a picture, a bunch of people down there enjoying themselves. Pittsburgh is putting a lot of work in, certainly right now with the draft being just a couple weeks away. Lots and lots of things going down. Every day I open up the paper, Mike, this is happening because of the draft. This for vendors, this for business, this for travel, this for this and that. So again, go check that out. Used to be the old red lots. Let's do get to the trivia question of the day. This is going to be a draft question. It's going to be all month, at least for the next 17 days here on the show. It is. This is a draft question, guys. Put on your thinking cap, Mike. Put on your thinking cap, everybody. Let's get into the question of the day. Here we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. From 1965 to 2014, the NFL draft was held in New York City. Which city stopped that streak in 2025? Question of the day. 1965 to 2014, the NFL was held in New York City. Radio City Hall, I do believe. But the question of the day is, which city stopped that streak in 2015? Take a minute to think that over, guys. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. every day right here on the Tube.
I'm Tube.
So the question of the day is this. All those years, you remember it was New York. Every year it was New York. Everybody to New York, New York, New York. They switched it, started going each to different cities. There's been about 10 since then, different places that they've held the draft. Which city was it? Which city was it? Which city was it that broke the streak of the New York draft being about 50 years in the running, if you will? Tortilla is saying Indianapolis. Somber says, oh, you said 2025 the first time. I apologize. I'm not even sure where I would have said that, but let me do it again. The 1965 to 2014 draft was held in New York City. Which city stopped that streak in 2015? I apologize if I did speak there, guys. So we're looking for a team. New Orleans is what Ty is saying. I thought it was New Orleans is what Corey is saying. 2015. Dude is saying New Orleans as well. Mike, what's your thought process here? Who was the team that broke the streak of the New York drafts? 50 years worth of it.
Like Kansas City's popping to mind. Green Bay is popping to mind. So I want to go with Green Bay.
Green Bay, the team that just had it last year.
Oh, they had it last year?
No, that's why I said that. Take another pick.
Let's go with Detroit.
Detroit, is that your final answer?
Why not? Yeah.
All right, so let me go ahead and get you set up here, Mike. Final answer locked in. You were locked in. Tortilla says Cleveland is a dump. Let's go right here. Steel Oil says NFL news greater than world news. Absolutely. Tortilla says Tater knows balls. Steel Oil says you know about Du Bois being a bomb site, but you don't know about Dexter Lawrence requesting a trade. Tater. Priorities, man. Priorities. All right, guys. The Mike is locked in with his final answer. He is saying Detroit is who broke the streak of the drafts being held at Radio City Hall in New York City for 50 years. Question of the day: from 1965 to 2014, the NFL draft was held in New York City. Which city stopped that streak in 2015? Seeing New Orleans. I'm seeing now Steel Oil is saying Indianapolis. Mark Malone is saying somewhere in the South. Mike's saying Detroit. Guys, of course, the answer is the team that broke New York's NFL draft streak in 2015 is nobody other than the Chicago Bears.
Wow.
The Bears broke the streak in 2015.
Soldier Field, baby.
So there you go. There you go. The Bears did it. I wouldn't have known that. I'm going to be honest with you. If I didn't look it up, I wouldn't have. I certainly wouldn't have guessed it to be
Me
the
either.
first.
I forgot they had it there.
Steel Oil, he says, I was close. LOL, Illinois, Indiana. Well, same state, kind of, sort of, right?
Yeah, I was in Green Bay. I was close too.
Or same shit, rather, obviously, not the same state. Corey says that don't drink that. That's something you don't hear every day. The Bears are technically in Indiana, so I was right. I guess so. In Tortilla, I saw Tater fall to his knees at a massage parlor. Let me just kind of go back through, make sure I didn't miss anything here through these messages. Because there was some at one point here, Mike, where at least you clean your streets off. Yeah, we got issues in our streets here in America. You just worry about what's going on in Europe, you. Let's go right here. Did I make it before the show? You did. Where am I at? Without Tomlin. Okay, I think I got it figured out. Let's go right here to Tater and Derby are kissing in aisle 3. Corey says Tortilla says Derby and Tater are kissing in aisle 3. Let's go to Somber. Somber says berry smoothie and a pepperoni slice. Talking about Costa, of course. Mark Malone, highest paid and worst coach D in the league last year. Like I've always said, there has never been a coach in the history of the NFL that has done less with more than Tomlin. Steel Loyal says, yes, sir. Somber, you know ball. Tater says, at least clean your streets for the draft. We have lovely streets here in Pittsburgh, as a matter of fact. They have a lot of holes in them, but you know what? Damn it. That's a good question. Steele asks this. He says, Tater, have you ever been to Cleveland? I'm kind of curious. Have you ever been to Cleveland? Maybe that's the problem. You need to go there to understand. And you would think, Mike, you would think he would probably leave with a different mindset, but you never
would think
know.
so. You would think, but this is what we're dealing with right now.
Clean your sheets, Tater. Clean your sheets, Tater is what Somber's saying on the board. Steel Loyal, no room to talk at all. Is what Steel Loyal is saying. You clean and Tortilla says Pittsburgh looks like fucking Du Bois compared to Cleveland. You said 25. Got you on that one. Let me scoot up here. Tater, not a good comparison. Du Bois is a bomb site at present, and blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. Mark Malone. He says, shit, I actually knew that. Was hanging at a bar owned by Chicago people around that time. Tortilla says, Tater in the Dick Factory. That'd be a nice, Mike, I don't know if you remember back in the late 80s on the Carol Burnett show, or was it the Tracy Ullman show? They started doing The Simpsons like as little shorts before the show.
Yeah, Tracy Ullman.
Maybe we should have somebody draw up some Tater in the Dick Factory shorts. It's like a little short just to put up before we go on the air.
I'm all for that.
Mark Malone fuckers kept telling me all about it. I bet they did. Let's see what we got here, guys. We're just 17 days away, Mike. By the end of this week, we're going to be down about 12 days. Then you come back after after the weekend. This is going really fast. This draft, before you know it, will be here, guys. Again, just 2 weeks from this Thursday coming up, if you can believe that. So much. You know what, Mike? There's one other thing one other thing that I do want to talk about briefly before we do start this process here. Now at Easter, of course, I saw you. We had we all had a little company here at the studio. I heard a conversation that I overheard this conversation, as a matter of fact, and I really I need to get some detail on this, Mike. So this conversation was being had over the Easter weekend, and Mike doesn't even know I heard it, but I did. Mike, how did you get your name?
All right. So I have two older brothers. I thought I've talked about this before, but apparently I didn't. Okay. I have two older brothers, and mind you, this is the 80s. My middle brother said, "You name it after me or I kill it." My parents were like, "All right, fine, fuck it. Take your middle name." Boom, that's his first name.
So you literally...
Yeah.
I mean, you know how little kids are. I remember asking my middle son when my third son was being born, what should we name him? So the middle brother in your grade said, I want him to name, because his middle name is Michael, if I'm not mistaken, if I got the story correctly. So the brother is a little kid, says, I want you to name him my name or I'll kill it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how you actually ended up getting your real name in real life, was your brother named you his own name. And the reason was because he would kill you, the little baby, if your parents didn't name you that. I think this is such an underrated story, because again, the fact that you have to share your name, your first name, with your brother's middle name, I think is funny. I don't know. For some reason I thought that this was a good story. And then the fact that he referred to you as it. How much older than you is he?
Not that much older than me. Well, wait a second. He maybe 5 years, maybe 4 or 5 years.
Just funny though. Again, Mike doesn't have an original name. His brother named him because that was his name. So again, I thought that was funny. Some people have meaning to their name. Like the meaning to your name will never not make me laugh. I just gotta be honest.
It's great, man. It's a good story to tell.
It is. It's a good Easter weekend story to tell.
Yeah, and like at the time too, when I was younger, I had tonsils and adenoids that were so swollen. I had trouble hearing. I had trouble talking. My parents one of them was bound to be retarded. No testing, no nothing.
They were right. They weren't wrong.
They weren't wrong.
They were not wrong.
But I was like, damn. And I let my brother name me because he was going to kill me, and my parents thought I was a little retarded.
I just think that's great.
Fuck it, we'll roll with it.
I think that's good. He named you his own name. I don't know. I just find it funny because I know the way my kids are. I too have 3 boys, and I know the process got funny as you got to the end, but that I think is a good one. Mike, thank you for that. Let's go to Corey.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Corey says this, hey, Ryan, when you guys get a chance, I'm looking for some advice for next Monday. Absolutely, man. Do be sure to keep up with Corey at Don't Drink That here on YouTube. Starting his lives this morning. Get over, check it out. I briefly got on for a little bit. I was doing a lot of stuff here at the studio, getting ready for Mondays. Always tough at the show. A lot of things go down over the weekend, so just trying to get everything prepared. Matter of fact, I did stop over, though. I was catching some ancient civilization scoop over at Don't Drink That right here on YouTube. Go check out Corey. He puts a lot of work into his show, and he's doing Mondays live. He'll keep us updated on all the details of everything. It was 10 this morning, a 10 o'clock start, so we'll certainly be talking to Corey more and keeping up on that. Let's go to Steel Loyal. He says, make sure you stock up on weed and moonshine for the draft, fella. Absolutely. Is there any other way? There
is not.
Cody says this, when you were younger, which of your brothers was the bully, or was it you?
Oh, it was the one who was named after me. He was the more physical one. The older brother was more psychological. Yeah. But
There
me, would every once in a while team up to get revenge on the older. So,
All right. Cody says, never mind. You were definitely the one that got bullied. I think we all figured he was given the name by his brother. There's no chance that the brother didn't bully him as well.
Yeah, and it's funny, though. They're not on the enemy list the way you are, Cody. Permanent number 1.
Don't drink that. Corey says, me and my sister have the same initials in case one of us was a failure. She doesn't have a job. So, and the days, what's up, dude? Always great seeing End of Days on the Terrible Show. He says this, 17 days is too long. Can't wait until Rogers retires. Ty, great show, you bastards. We appreciate that as well. So much. Goat, of course, Ty the Goat. Thank you for that. We appreciate that, man. 17 motherfucking days. He says, Cody says, oh, thanks, Mike. You're my number 1 too. A few things as we do get ready to wrap things up for this Monday installment of the show. We'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to do it all over again. A lot of sports going on here in Pittsburgh. I'll talk about that as we wrap things up. But I do want to say this, with all the sports, I know that you're going to need a drink at the end of the day with some of them, certainly Pittsburgh sports. And if you do stop and get yourself some Duquesne Pilsner. Duquesne Pilsner now available in 6 and 12 packs at Giant Eagle, also wherever cases are sold. Spreading its way across the land. I know the people at Duquesne Pilsner are working their asses off, traveling the country far and wide to get the product out there. Duquesne Pilsner, delicious beer, Mike. Always on tap here in the studio. Certainly was this weekend for Easter. Made right here in Pittsburgh. It says on the can, grab a Duke.
Grab a Duke.
Also, what else do we got? Go check out any of our social media, guys, if you want to keep up with what's going on with the two Dum Yinzers on a day-to-day basis. Go check us out on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, even TikTok, guys. Swing by, hit the follow button, keep what's going on with the show from a day-to-day basis. And if you haven't had a chance yet, do hit the like button down below. Hit the like, the sub, the share, or even leave a comment. It all helps in the algorithm, guys. We appreciate it all. Tonight, Pirates back at it, Mike, coming in with their 5-game winning streak. That's right, the second best record in all of the majors. Getting ready to touch that 1/16th of the season mark, Mike. 16 times this will have to be done. But after the first 10 games, the Pirates sit at 6-3 heading into that 10th game tonight. 5-game winning streak. Swept the Orioles over the weekend. 10 of the next 13 games at home. In the next 3 pitchers for the Pirates tonight will be Bubba Chandler. Tomorrow will be Paul Skeens, and then Mitch Keller on the hill the day after that for the Padres, who are coming to town. Pittsburgh is getting really very excited about their Pirates. I can't blame them. And also the big game tonight is the national championship for the NCAA as Michigan and Arizona go at it. That game is an 8:50 start tonight. Mike, anything, your thoughts on today's show?
I think it was a great show. Other than Cody being here, that big bully, my nemesis. It was a good show, man. I 17 days till the draft. I can't wait. Dexter Lawrence, man. If somehow we can find a way to get him, I'm all for it. It's not, it doesn't have that, not young, but he's still not an ancient player like Cam Hayward. I think he still has a lot left to give. So I tried to make a play for him. If you want to be a contender this year, I'd say go out and try and get him from New York.
I agree. I would love to see Dexter come here. So maybe, Mike, as you know, sometimes the news pops off right after we go off the air. Maybe that will be the first news we hear today. But we will see again. We don't know if it's a pipe dream. We don't know. Matter of fact, I just learned it this morning on the show. I didn't know anything about it prior to Dexter Lawrence. Would you trade Highsmith for Lawrence, Mike? Cody is asking on the board.
Ooh, that's a Fuck it, yeah, because that will get Nick Herbig into the starting lineup.
All right, there you go. Let me grab a couple more of these messages, as that is where we are at this point of the show. Let's go right here to Somber. He says, grab a Duke. Also, Cody says, Mike has my name on a piece of paper like Steve Buscemi on Billy Madison.
Damn straight, brother.
Also,
don't you forget it.
Tortilla says, Cody is Penn State's #1 sperm donor. Steel Loyal, go Braves. Cody, we did get that one. Steel Loyal said, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, I would. Steel Loyal said, that's my favorite thing you said, Cody. Also, that's my favorite thing you said. And then Corey says, no trade. TJ Harbaugh would get a hard on for that. Tortilla says, do they need an edge rusher, though? I'm glad
I don't think so, but, fuck them.
So there you go, guys. Also, I do want to say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you guys. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to everybody on the board. You guys always keep things interesting here on the show, and you always keep the thing going. You guys are the lifeblood of this show. We couldn't appreciate you more. Thank you to everybody on the board. Also, I want to say thank you to everybody at home. Maybe you're in the car, maybe you're at the gym, maybe it's your job. Listen, and anywhere be the case, thank you so much as well, guys. Very grateful. Thank you, everybody, for all your support. Mike, so tomorrow we got a little Buccos tonight. We have a little national championship. Matter of fact, who are you taking tonight on this national championship? We have Michigan. We have Arizona. Who do you like?
I got Arizona, man. They're my last team remaining.
All right, I'm glad because I'm going to take Michigan. That works for me. I'll take Michigan. You take Arizona. Again, tonight, 8:50. That caps off the NCAA season. That caps off the March Madness, if you will. Tonight, 8:50, Michigan, Arizona. I'll take Michigan. Mike will take Arizona. Pirates, again, starting a series today against the Padres. That's a 6:40 start. We'll be back first thing tomorrow to get into all that stuff and so much more. And again, hopefully some good news, Mike, as far as the Steelers maybe grabbing a sexy Dexy, something, who knows, but we'll certainly keep on top of that and everything else to gather all that information together for tomorrow's show. I do think that's everything, Mike, unless I'm missing something.
I think we got it all, brother, man. This is a hell of a show. All
right, guys, we do appreciate everybody for everything. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again. We hope everybody has a safe Monday. Hope everybody had a safe Easter weekend. It was nice seeing everybody back today, but we'll be back tomorrow. Hope to see everybody then. For Chop, for RB, for Finch, for Derpy, for Mike, myself, the two Dum Yinzers. Have a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.